Let's see. Hello! Hey! So, hold on. I got to unmute his mic, and there he is.
There he is. Now you've let him off the leash.
Yeah,
He can talk
yeah.
now.
We're good now. We're good. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you guys here. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going to scoot a little closer to you because I am like falling off the map here, but that's okay. Hey, thanks, Mod Hatter. That's very nice. So I'm just going to scooch that guy over.
Yep. We're trying to figure out this whole...
There's an optimal way to set this up, and I haven't quite done it yet because I've never had a guest here. So anyway, I'm sitting in a shorter chair. He's slouching, but if he sits upright, he'll like tower over me. So we gotta keep that down. So anyway, welcome everybody. It's fun to have Dan in the house. We've been hanging out for a little while. He got to check out our new not mall food court downtown.
And that was like a really interesting evolution of the whole food court concept. I was telling you, it's like when I would go to the mall as a kid, it was you can either have really, really salty Chinese food or really, really salty pizza, and that was about it. But then this one is like, oh, well, we do steam buns as taco shells, and we do pork belly and Japanese curry, but if you don't like that, you can also get brick oven pizza. If you don't like that, you can go get Stoner's grilled cheese. It's kind of good. Alex. No, she's not making any hot pockets.
There it is. So I don't have chat on the screen right now because I don't want to cover his face. But what I'm afraid of is when we go to the React view that he's going to disappear. So let me test that real quick. A bit of echo from Dan. Well, it's a new mic, just testing it out. I got some settings on it. I can dial it back a little bit, but the settings I had were so that it didn't, cause too much of a ruckus. But if it does, let me know. I'll go ahead and tune things. We're just getting acclimated here. We're just getting started. So I'll keep my mic kind of turned away from him, and he can do the same. So it's just pointed off towards him. He can kind of like sit at it at this angle.
Yeah, we're just gonna like not face each other or something.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. No, I refuse. I don't care if we have 6 hours left in this car ride. I'm not talking to you.
All right. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. You're going to have to talk into it super directly.
Okay. I'm talking into it fairly directly.
I made it even more extreme. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to basically like let this sit on my chest. Right up. Yeah. Just for the record, this is because the mic arm is not cooperating.
Well, yeah, it's got such a strong spring-loaded spring that it just wanted to swing back up and just stand upright, and that wasn't going to work.
Like, put a bird on it because it's going
to... Yeah. And on that note, hello, everybody. Great to see you. Wonderful show we have here because I got Dan here to hang out. And I'm excited for this. We're going to watch some detailing videos, maybe break into some like small talk, just talking about whatever. It's fine. This is meant to be kind of a car-centric detailing thing, so it doesn't always have to be detailed. But Mondays, I generally treat them like more for detail because I know that's a good part of our core audience as people who are into detailing. But I do have a lot of video game people cashing in on watching me play video games at times. So I think maybe bring in a few people like that too. But for now, we're probably going to watch some disaster details. Maybe we'll touch on some internet detail forum drama, that kind of thing. Yep. But give you a sense. Oh, Alex has been here too, so he's asking about the house.
Yeah, no, it's legit. I caught the tail end of the sunset through those giant windows, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why this house is this.
That's why it's here.
This is definitely one of those places where it's like, oh yeah, like you said, this is where a house goes. It goes here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, full stop.
So, yeah, when I found this house, I was super excited because there just wasn't anything else like it around in that price point. Everything else is colossally expensive.
I don't like the way it's built on a hill and you go...
It's not built into the hill. It's on a hill, so you don't have to worry about
just going like over time.
Spooky situation where the whole ground moves and everything starts going. There's like a nice flat patch in between.
Imagining the house tilting so far, it looks like it's staring like an angry Karen at the street.
Oh no. Dean serenades at
Ooh.
sunsets with Italian guitars.
I
Hello,
didn't see
Jamie.
I didn't see any of those.
No. We didn't have him here. Sorry.
I think he chased him off or something.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to make sure when we went into this that I wasn't going to be spooked. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We got a big list here. Dan, I'm going to let you look at some of these. If something jumps out at you as something to get interested in, I got a Buick. Some awful, a nasty detailing session on that one. Yeah.
This, or not even a little bit. This is very different. I was actually looking at the best detail.
Oh, really?
And I'm actually a little curious to see if what their take is on it. Yeah, so we basically this is Mom's way of getting us to not fight by making the camera like have us just lean awkwardly close to each other.
Tried to get it in there, but I put the actual window for him to watch right in front of him. So I've got like all the tech stuff over here, and then you just get to watch nice detailing videos. But I want to hear your feedback. Like I want to hear, oh, what would you do in this situation? What's your instinct other than scream, run away, maybe set it on fire? So that's what I think we're going for here.
Yeah,
we'll find out though.
Yeah,
but yeah. So what did you want to watch?
This one.
Okay. Best detailing supplies, beginner detailing supply. Okay, let's check it out.
Now that we covered a bit of the exterior and some of the interior, I'm gonna move into my favorite all-around purpose cleaner.
I was gonna say, man, he just jumped into it. Like there was no setup or anything. It was just like immediate cold open.
Yeah, I coming from Alaska, I know a cold open when I.
Yep.
The puns are alive.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna start by watching this. But hey, you know what? If you know somebody who should be watching who isn't watching right now, tell them, because I have no idea if these notifications actually go out and reach people. I feel like it's just artificially held down when you're small creators. So, you know, please share.
Fight the power. Fight the man.
Fight the man. Fight the power. And
fight the power man.
If you're subscribed, you don't have to worry about like seeing an ad break other than that opening intro ad that happens, because that does now. However, I will say if at a certain point it hits a 1 minute ad break or a 3 minute ad break, there will be a point where it'll just do that, but I'll warn you ahead of time so that you're not caught off guard. It'll just send a prompt, so then I'll have to just giving you a heads up ahead of time. Otherwise, you're good. F11 is the best. I saw that coming.
you got a physical reaction. I don't know if you saw it. Like that had a physical reaction. I was like, I can't launch through the screen at this guy.
Yeah,
but you got me.
Alex will get you. So anyway, let's go ahead and start this. Let's find out what top class mobile detail considers best detailing supplies for beginners. And do you agree or disagree?
I disagree with the I'm going to detail a car in a sewer. But
what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another video. My name
LA
is
River.
Top Class Detail, and this is probably one of the most highly anticipated videos you guys have been asking for. I get a lot of DMs and a lot of questions constantly about people asking me what are the best detail products for starting off, or what are the best supplies I should get when I want to get into detailing. So we're here at H2O Detail Supply.
Alex is going to say something about that stool behind him.
About a couple chemicals, from wheel cleaners to glass cleaners to tire dressings. Just to go ahead, if you want to get started into the game and you're not too sure.
What shop do you think he's in right now? Because this is an interesting supply store. It looks almost like, I know chemical guys had those storefronts, the brick and mortar ones, but I see like IK sprayers and stuff in here.
This is definitely not.
No, this looks like some kind of. You guys have any guesses?
Yeah, like while we're waiting for some guests to call in, I'm definitely like there's multiple brands and pretty. Like I'm seeing
I see familiar stuff.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
There's some G Technic in the back. There's some are those almost look well,
I know I saw the IK bottles initially off to the right here. I see what looked to be maybe microfiber towels on the wall way back there in the background, but it's kind of blurry, so I can't tell.
There's some Kosh Chemi.
And the ceiling doesn't quite know if it wants to be a checkerboard or not, so it's kind of doing a little bit of both.
It's giving me that everything all at where all at once vibe.
Oh my god, that movie! I love that movie so much.
I got 35 minutes through it on the flight over.
Oh my!
And then the plane landed.
Dang it. Okay, no, it's worth it. You got to watch it. Anybody who hasn't watched it yet, please watch that movie and tell me what you
Yeah, I don't see a Supra in the background.
No, we've seen 2 new Supras today though, just in the time driving over here.
One of them, ironically, was going like, "Is that a Jaguar?"
Staring at my car.
Oh, it was great. There's traffic, and this dude is just like locking eyes with the Jaguar, gonna hit cars in front of him, and he's the one in the new suit.
I mean, and it was a modified one too. It was lowered. It had custom wheels on it. It was like all blacked out. Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah. No, I'd say it looked pretty slick. Okay, back to it.
Sure what to pick up. Hopefully this helps you, point you in the right direction of some products to use. Personally, a lot of these I have used myself. That's why I'm recommending them to you. I don't want to recommend you something I haven't tried yet. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the video.
Okay,
It's
so
his store. All right, yep. There's PNS.
Yep. And some of the non like black label.
Double black, yeah.
I see 3D. I see Sonax.
3D, yeah.
I see some Gion, I think.
Yep.
So right
Wires.
now we're going
Yep.
to start off kind of just on the front and work our way down, not going in any specific order, but let's start off with number 1. That's going to be your soap. The most important thing you need to wash the car, and what I use and what I'm going to recommend to you is PNS Pearl. So this is perfect. This is very, very slick.
Right.
So it does provide a lot of lubricity while you're washing. It's also pH neutral.
I can already tell he has good taste.
Right.
No, I did not know that before I started this video. I thought, okay, here's just like a total unrelated third party. I've never watched anything else on his channel before, but I added it because, I mean, the concept of the video is, okay, products for beginners. What are some great suggestions? I'd love to hear somebody who has nothing to do with this, what they think. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I noticed the rags to riches.
Oh, well, yeah, if you have the PNS line,
Yeah.
it's smart to include that. I actually heard in a meeting today that is like number 1 things in the PNS lineup sells, because everybody needs to clean their towels. You spend a lot of money on towels. You want to keep them around. Obviously, you want to take care of them. I know a lot of people use Micro Restore and a lot of these other ones, and those have been good for a really long time. Nothing wrong with doing that. You can also do free and clear with like white vinegar mixed in as well. That's a safe way to do it. But the whole point of Rags to Riches was to like eliminate the need for that. If you just want one that can do it all, Rags to Riches will do that. Also, remove the sealants from your towels, which is something that a lot of these other, towel cleaners didn't really do, because those products didn't exist the way they do now when those were developed.
Yeah.
So the Rags to Riches was designed with that from the get-go. What's something that'll set it over the top? What'll separate it? People always ask, but I gotta mention that. Strong plug.
You're right.
Yeah, no, that's right, Jamie. It's too overhyped. Oh my God. If I think of a hype brand, it's definitely PNS that's overhyped. I could think of about 5, 7, 8 different brands that are like hype brands, and you know which ones are hype.
So it's safe on all vehicles, not going to strip any waxes, any sealants, or cause any damage to any vehicles. So this is very good. I always suggest you buy by the gallon, as it does save you money as a detailer and as a business owner. But if you're a DIYer, they always have smaller sizes available. But definitely pick this up for your soap if you're looking for a bucket soap or a foam cannon soap. This is very versatile. Number 2, you need a wheel cleaner. Obviously, to get those wheels and rims nice.
Now, I noticed that Alex said about the subtitles.
Pause.
I brought up. I'm so sorry to pause on your face like that. Sorry, dude. I don't know you, but I know that's unfair to pause that. Let me just. Okay, there you go. Your mouth's open again. Your eyes are open. We'll save you a little trouble. Yeah. So basically, true words have never been spoken. I prefer kitchen chemistry and DIY chemicals. Yes, that's right, Alex. When you can make your own detailing products, you've cracked the code. You're fighting the man. You've destroyed the system. You are living outside the matrix. Have taken the red pill, and all that entails.
I'm gonna leave. You drove me here. I'm going to just start walking.
He's just gonna walk home. And that's terrible. But no, the reason I paused it was just to point out the subtitles thing. I think it's a good idea for me to have subtitles on when we play these videos, in case somebody is not necessarily listening, like watching somebody. Maybe okay, I'm not outing anybody right now, but maybe they're sitting in like a bathroom and they're trying to watch and not irritate people around them. But then they can't hear us, so there's no subtitles for us. Right. Okay. Yeah. Have your earbuds.
I
your
do the one earbud
AirPods.
thing.
Yeah.
I've been a one earbud guy since back in my.
Jimmy started that neuron, and we all started doing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I picked it up early.
Mm.
Like I mentioned it.
Yeah. All right. Back to it.
So instead of giving you 2 different products, I'm going to give you one that works for both the tires and the wheels, and that's going to be P&S Brake Buster. So
oh, look at
this
that.
is definitely one of my go-to
I swear to
products.
God, I did not know what he was going to say
ceramic coated
before
wheels.
this video started.
This is safe if you dilute it properly, but why have 2 different products and spend more money on a tire and wheel cleaner when you can have this all in one, safe for all wheel finishes, so you don't have to worry about spraying it on the wrong type of wheel, messing something up, and costing yourself more money out of pocket.
That's true. The other thing I want to point out was there are a lot of, folks that get mad on the internet where they're like, oh, I have this other product. It's way stronger. I want to use that. And then the part that we always try and exercise is use a less aggressive method first before you go ham on the thing and before you go ripping up whatever you're doing. Use a product that was designed to clean the stuff, but it wasn't designed to absolutely shred it in the process. So yeah.
Well, and for me, I use P&S Brake Buster all the time. 1 3-to-1, and I'll still every so often go grab Shine Supply Wise Guy.
Sure,
because I have a
people
tire.
love Shine Supply.
Well, because I've found also Wise Guy seems better at ripping out the browning when that's something you're having a hard time breaking. So I figure, okay, instead of just sitting here scrubbing over and over and over out and
well, and generally speaking, as a general rule, your alkaline centered cleaners are going to be the ones that work well on stuff. Your acids, when you think of traditional wheel acids and stuff like that, they'll work great on the wheel, assuming that it's capable of handling some of the acids that are still out there. But your tires are not meant on them. It's not going to do. The alkaline cleaners will actually do a lot of that stuff. It is irritating if you have old, buildup from old dressing wrapped into your tires, and you need to get that out. We just recently did a video where we showed you could do that. Glass force. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's stronger, it's not necessarily going to be the best wheel cleaner, although it can certainly do that, but the tires are going to be. It's going to be all right. But I like Brake Buster because I know I'm not damaging anything, and it should still do the job. Assuming you take fairly regular care of this stuff, it should handle it.
Well, yeah, it's my maintenance wash.
Yeah.
So definitely for number 2 for your wheels, I definitely suggest Brake Buster. All right, now for number 3, when you guys want to do those clay and seal packages that you guys see me doing all the time on my Instagram stories, you're going to need an iron remover. If you want to do the job properly, you definitely have to spray an iron remover before you clay the vehicle or even after, but definitely before you apply that light.
I feel like I know what's coming.
My go-to out of all of the iron removers that I've tried
here
is P&S Iron Buster. So this one right here is a go-to. This is safe on not only paint, but it's safe on wheels as well, and it's definitely probably one of the worst smelling products you'll have, so be careful with this, but it is very, very good. The reaction time is very quick, and the amount of the results that you can get with this and the gallon is very, very good.
Thank you, Alex, for clearing. I use pH 9 alkaline bottled water to clean my wheels. Only deserve the best.
Emphasis. Incredible.
Emphasis.
Yes. You could even dilute this a little bit as I do, just a quick pro tip. But definitely don't dilute it too much, as you still want it to do what it's supposed to do.
I feel like we found a new friend, Jamie.
Any decontamination. All right, so while we're on the topic of exteriors, obviously when you're done, you'll want to top that vehicle off with a nice finishing spray, especially with those clays and seals. When you maintain those after, you want to upkeep with that and make sure the customer's getting the best longevity, as well as having the hydrophobics to make your job easier. My go-to that you guys see me post on my Instagram all the time is definitely hands down Sonax Ultra Ceramic Slick Detailer. So this one is definitely my go-to. The best way I like to use it is after I blow the vehicle, so I don't blow off all the water. I go for mostly just the cracks and crevices. I follow up with a towel with a couple sprays of this, and this definitely gives that nice gloss, that nice slickness after that wash as a nice finishing touch.
We can complain about that.
All right, so like I said, sticking to that exterior, right now we're gonna move over to tire shine. So this right here is Shine All Tire Dressing.
Hello, Ethan.
This is versatile from P&S. This is not only safe for just your tires, as well as interior dressings and definitely engine bays as well. So if you want something, like I said, when you're starting out, you gotta save money. You gotta profit as much as you can to get yourself to that next level. So this right here is gonna be a go-to if you want an interior dressing, you want an exterior dressing, you want a tire dressing. Save yourself the money while you're starting out. Start off with this, as this is the beginner, starting out supply run. This is definitely one of the best ones to go to. All right, and for number 6, you need a glass cleaner. You cannot leave those windows streaky. We are not car washers. So what I'm going to recommend.
Shots fired. Not leave those things streaky. We are not car washers. We are detailers. Get it right. Get it right.
But I mean, he does have a point.
No, he does. He does. No. Yeah. I mean, hey, to each their own. Not hurting anybody else. All right.
On glass.
Do your thing.
Now, with any glass cleaner,
Maybe just
you
don't
always
tell
have to be
people
careful when
about
working
it.
in the sun, but this is a bit safer. It also is not just a glass cleaner, but your towels. Make
I know,
sure
I
you
dig
guys
that
are using
purple
fresh,
bucket.
clean towel.
Get it.
This is another pro tip.
Yeah, you should go
Don't
get it,
use a
Alex.
towel that you use for waxes or door jams.
Tell
or
him you
anything
saw
like
this
that,
video.
and wash your towels separately. I'll have a video coming out soon on how to properly
Luck with that
wash and
shipping.
maintain your towels. But for number 6, the glass cleaner is definitely one of the ones you have to go with. Now for number 7, we're gonna need an interior cleaner. What are you gonna use for your leather seats, your doors, your dash, and cup holders?
Feel like he's standing in front of it
this is
right
gonna be
now.
The best one you can start off with. P&S interior cleaner. This bottle
man.
right here, you can actually dilute
I feel
1
like
to
there needs
1.
to be
Every time. Once again, I swear I did not know any of that. I haven't watched the video before. I didn't pre-watch or anything.
Well,
but
he did say Guion. He did reference
yes,
Sonax.
and he has Sonax in there, which I know both
don't
are
carry.
perfectly good products.
Yeah. They're good products, and
People feel like, oh my god, are you allowed to talk about the others? Yes, I'm allowed to talk about the other stuff. It's just when it's relevant or when it's right now it's relevant. So yeah. But no, I thought that was funny. I'm continually impressed by the number of people who like Express, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because it feels like a product that most people on, like an interior cleaner, more of a safe interior cleaner, nothing crazy, anything like that. It's just good at what it does.
Yeah.
But love it, and that's great, but I feel like I'm actually impressed by how many people recognize that and do use it, as opposed to a lot of people just, I got my favorite whatever. It's interior,
gloss
it's whatever.
over it.
So you're not having to use the entire bottle, so it does save you money
$8,000
and
to
save you
ship a
product as
bucket.
well.
Hell no.
This is going to be safe for vinyl, leather, plastics, anything you needed to use.
Oh, yeah, Alex,
this is
Geon
going to
bottles
definitely be your
are.
go-to when you're starting out, or even in your business today. This is something that I love to use. It smells very good. Or
Ooh,
you can
yeah.
also
No,
buy
they
a
look like
gallon,
a even
I suggested
fancier
earlier.
Fiji
Always
water
buy in the
bottle.
gallon sizes, especially if you're running a business, as it does save you money in the long run.
Yeah.
Now,
Alex
we're gonna
loves
move into
Express.
leather
Ethan
cleaning
says
and
he moved away
conditioning.
for a
While
while,
we
but
have
now
the
he's
carpet
back.
cleaners, you guys see me clean seats all the time and bring those old leather seats.
That's okay. I think that happens to people, though. Like what you're saying, Ethan, totally fine, because there are a lot of people out there who will have a favorite product, and then if they're the kind of person who likes to try a lot of detailing products, like, oh no, I'm cheating on my products that I like, that I love. And the reality is, it's okay to try different products. You're not in a relationship with that product. It's okay.
You just have to come back to O&R.
Right. I mean, when it comes down to it, something like as big of a staple as a rinseless wash, if you have what you know works and you want to try something else, you can do that. That's okay. See if it works for you. Or N914 if you're. That's fine. That's totally
I feel
fine.
like there's like some weird, subtle dig at
There's-
vegetarians here because they're like, oh, it's soy based. If you're one of those soy people, you eat soy, well, you may as well wash with soy.
But that's what O&R. Yeah. Yeah. So some people just get weirdly sensitive of stuff. I'm sorry. Your choice of detailing product does not define your masculinity or lack thereof. It is not something to overly concern yourself with. Just work with what you like. And if you like, try new products and go, hey, wow, that thing, that was awesome. I didn't expect that. Great. That's all that matters. Don't let all the fighting on the internet determine what you can or can't like.
Well,
It's not other people's job to dictate what you're allowed to like.
That kind of, outside of probably shouldn't.
Well, okay, so
It's
my
way
personal mantra
outside
is
of-
always do no harm unto others, but everything else is pretty much fair game as long as you're not impacting other people's livelihood or health or any of those things. Or that goes for mental health too. So like, you know,
Seriously.
don't be a harasser, don't be all these things. Just common sense, people. That's all it is. So yeah. Dave makes a mean interior cleaner. Yes. Cockpit. Ooh, yeah, cockpit. Okay. Yeah, a few of those.
It's one part water to 256 parts and 9.
Love it. All right.
Make a half gallon per gallon.
That's right. That's all you need. Also, there is going to be a 1-minute break here. So if you're subscribed, don't worry about it. If you aren't, it'll be back after a minute. Just hang in there. It'll be okay. We'll be here when it gets back. Okay, now let's keep going.
I love you, but we're going to keep going.
Back to life.
Wow.
This
I
here
know,
is
right?
hands down my favorite. P&S leather treatment. This is very easy to use. I've tried other brands that aren't as easy to work with. This one right here, the minute you apply it, you can tell the difference. So this will allow you to keep track of where you applied it and where you haven't. So this way you're not leaving anything behind and everything gets covered. So definitely,
Ethan,
I
that's
suggest you pick
totally
this up
valid.
as your go-to. All right, now we're gonna move into the carpet cleaning, the floor mat cleaning.
Ooh,
When
your
you guys see me
FTWs
use
came
the
in.
extractor, you want to see how we clean carpets. This is definitely the best combo to go with. P&S has Carpet Bomber and Terminator, which when you pair them hand to hand, they
I was
work
going to
amazing.
say, okay, so he's talking about Carpet Bomber and Terminator, and because these are ones I'm actually familiar with, the whole beauty of that particular system is some people look and go, oh, they're trying to sell you 3 products when you can just have one. The point of those products is you can use them in lieu of an extractor. You can actually do proper, full-on carpet cleaning work with just those products and not have an extractor and still have an excellent result. That's the whole appeal of it, is that it allows you to not have to go buy an expensive machine if you don't find yourself doing it that often. But having those products there, they're a lot cheaper than a machine, and you just use them. Yeah, they're not something you plug in and have. What's that smell? Yeah. Oh, that's burning electronics.
Ethan raises a good question. Why does nobody include Finisher? What's your take?
Finisher, I feel like it's one of those ones where we use it because it's part of the system. It just makes sense. And I actually find that it is an important part of that. But like in the case of Terminator, that's the enzyme one. Carpet Bomber, that's like heavy duty cleaner. But Finisher is peroxide.
Yeah, that's...
Yes.
well,
but it's also meant to be one that's like the last touch. So I don't know why. Have you noticed that as a trend? Like people use the others and just not, because most of the people I know who use this system do use Finisher. But if you know people who are only using part of it, I feel like they're kind of missing out.
yeah, like... I mean,
Unless they use something else that does the same thing, in which case, okay, fine, maybe they have a preferred product for that. Fine, that's okay.
Alex raises... But I also think, too, that sometimes you can only... But that's what you get.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
and you're just like, all right, if I'm going to skimp on one, I'm third one out, odd one.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it that way. But I feel like if you can afford the 2, you could probably afford the 3. It's just a matter of, you know, what works for you. Maybe you do have a different favorite. That's okay.
So, I want to hang up on...
No, go for it. Yeah.
Because on the typo. 2, and also... So that's an interesting question is, okay, so saying Finisher spray and then fiber bonnet or vice versa? Very last.
I mean, it's called Finisher.
Well, yeah, but like with the notion, from what I remember, the idea there's something that is both also it's there to help prevent happening.
Right.
So I think with a microfiber bonnet, after applying it, you're kind of utilizing that. That's just
okay.
I wanted to get your take on it. And,
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
It's just a thought. Like, I'm not saying Ethan's wrong.
No,
It's not like you lost at detailing the game that has.
there's way too many people who treat this thing like it's a zero-sum game. And my team, if they're not winning, they're losing. It's like, no, actually, there can be a whole lot of draws out there.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's not a, that type of game. It doesn't have to be.
You guys carry 150 towels, not one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I only have one favorite. Screw all the rest.
Yeah.
What? Why? That's dumb. That's just dumb. We didn't wind up with 150 because we liked the number. We wound up with 100, which the number varies. It's not really exactly 150. It varies, but the point is, because every time you come up with something, people go, I like that, but.
Right.
And then they'll add like a caveat, like, I wish it was a little thicker, or I like that style of towel, but I wish it was, a different border on it, or I wish it was a different weave, but I like the feel of this fabric, so I want it to be like that, but a different style of weave.
Yeah.
Any number of combinations, they exist because somebody said, I like that other one, but. So that's why you see a lot of like evolutionary stuff happen with towels, and then we continue to sell the old ones because there is definitely a place for people who legacy product over the new stuff,
like double twister.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like where it started with the twistress, and then it kept building out until you get to the gauntlet, and now like the liquidators, people like that. But yeah, I mean, there's any number of variability that you could. Yeah.
Carpets, I pretty much follow the method Rennie showed. Small edition. Oh,
yeah.
Right
no,
on,
that's
man.
fine.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you, Alex, for the cat with tentacles.
Big, good Christmas present, but okay. You gave me a microphone, and that means I can say you guys got rid of the. Still bitter about that.
Yeah, so
I'm still bitter.
You know what? There was a very small but diehard group of people. Those
me,
and you're one of them. So the reason, frankly, was that we're pretty strict about quality control. Like that's a big part of what we do, making sure stuff doesn't slip through the cracks. And at a certain point, if you notice, the production of this was just leading to some problems. Like the towels were awesome when used particular ways, but we found when people tried to venture outside of that narrow window of ways to use the towel, that suddenly you would get like lint edgeless minks, and it sucked because you don't want to sell towels. That's the last thing you want it to be, is a towel company who sells, they're the people who sell the towels that lint.
Yeah.
Like, we try very hard not to do that. Nobody can be perfect. Nobody can prevent it outright. But usually there'll just be like an exclusion, or some kind of exception to the rule where somebody goes, mine linted, but like 99% of others don't experience that. So it's not a trend. But what we were noticing with the Minx Edgeless was that it did start to. Thank you, Alex.
I yelled into the mic too loud. I'm sorry.
He's mad we stopped selling the Minx Edgeless.
Yes.
So I'm telling him why the Edgeless one no longer exists, which is it was starting during the production. We were finding we were having to pull more and more that were showing signs of linting before they ever left the place. And we just realized this is going to be more trouble than it's worth. You're going to have to answer so many phone calls, and people are just going to be upset that they received a product that was having issues. So it's better to just pull the plug and turn over, take the material that we know works. The Minx is great, but we have to put a border on it to really make it its best self.
Minx without borders.
The Minx Royale was the compromise. That's the reality of it.
And the Minx Royale works fine, and it's great.
It's the same material.
I know, but
it has a border.
So I just proved your point too about I'd like it,
but yeah, exactly. So you're proving my point right now.
I'm over here like, but that satin border is essentially a crime against you. Even though it's the tiniest.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Jamie says lint is my friend. There's a certain point where we're just not gonna open ourselves to that if we don't have to. Like, it's just dumb to try and continue to force something to work when there's gonna be issues until you can go back to the drawing board and figure out a way to make that work. I'd love to be able to make a version that didn't do that, but the construction style of that particular towel just kept lenting itself. So it was an easier way to just avoid that. Put the border on it, solves the problem entirely. But it doesn't make everybody happy. Like Dan wants it without the border. I get it. But if you were to cut the border off, that you'd be a nightmare.
I'm not gonna lie, the thought did occur to me.
Cross your mind. I'm
cutting the border off.
If someone bitches about a linting towel, I slap him in the face with a tortilla challenge. Why he bitches? Alex, I love you. That's great.
You know what you do to up your tortilla slap? Put olive oil, and then you have olive oil.
Oh, and it leaves
face.
it during the tortilla slap.
Yeah.
I've seen some people get hit hard with those. It's gnarly.
Yeah. I just had a brief. I'm keeping us way off track.
No, it's okay. This is a stream. We're allowed to talk about whatever we want. I just try and like center it on detailing so I know people actually tune in and check it out.
And I'm like violently keeping us off of the topic.
The reality is like I would happily talk about anything. We could just nerd out over all this stuff and it's totally fine. Oh my God, a wet towel. Dude, wet towel hurts. Hurts a lot. That's only for somebody you really don't like.
I was thinking of towel.
Oh yeah, no, that's brutal. Okay, let's get a little further and then we'll chat some more.
So this is gonna actually
you can control with the space bar.
Okay, that was long enough.
That's what happens. See, guys? Oh my God.
Enzyme spot cleaner. You're gonna use this for those heavier stains or something you want to pre-treat before you use carpet bomber. So when I said heavier soil stains, spray this to get that little bit of extra kick to help you release everything out of there. Carpet bomber is your go-to all around. So you want to clean seats, floor mats, carpets, anything like that. This is what you're going to use. Spray it all over the surface, agitate it with a brush or a drill brush, and then from there clean up with a towel or an extractor if you have one. So now that we covered a bit of the exterior and some of the interior, I'm going to move into around to my favorite all-around purpose cleaner. So that's what APC stands for. This is, like I said, all around. You can use it for exterior and interior. It all just depends how you dilute it for what it is you're using for. So my favorite right now at the moment is going to be Coach Kimmy Green Star.
There it is. All right.
Coach Kimmy.
Coach Kimmy. All right, that's a new way to say it, guys. I love YouTube's auto subtitles. You know what though?
Coach Kimmy from now on.
To their credit, they do a lot of good. Like the fact that it's even remotely accurate is impressive, but there are limits.
I know.
And it's down to like the audio quality too. Like sometimes you'll get a video that's a little muffled or something and it'll get real creative in how it comes up with the words for that. But I think Coach Kimmy is the new way to say that.
Yep, 100%. I'm gonna like, if the rep is ever around at the same time I am, I'm gonna be like, oh, how do you like working for Coach Kimmy? Do a lot of timeouts.
Oh
man, and he's just gonna like look at me like.
And Mod Hatter, I'm sorry, but that just shows like that's the whole point of checking this stuff before it ever leaves the place. Like I think people just think it arrives magically perfect from the factory, but the reality is you do want a quality control. You do want to check. Like there's a certain level of quality control, yes, at the factory, but we're oftentimes the final stop before it does reach a customer. So the whole idea is that you're, taking on the responsibility of the good and the bad. But no, I'm glad. So that's good to hear, Mod Hatter. I'm glad you like it. Coach Kimmy Sylvester Stallone is a PE teacher. Oh, that's good. Hashtag Coach Kimmy. Taking the Tims for a mean cup of bread. That's right. I don't know if I'm doing things wrong, but I rarely use an APC. Pre-wash on some dirty exteriors, gas door, and pedals, and that's about it. So Ethan, pre-wash is totally legit. If you're washing your cars regularly enough, APC doesn't necessarily have to factor into it unless you're in an area where it's like heavier duty stuff is on the ground and getting onto your cars. The reason a lot of detailers use APCs is because they're getting strangers' cars. They're getting unfamiliar cars. It's not their own personal cars. They're getting cars from God knows where. And when you see some of that stuff, your first instinct is, I'm not even going to try washing it standard. I'm going to go straight to an APC and then I'll worry about the other stuff once I know it's actually under all this crap.
Well, especially you're paid to wash the
Yeah, because that's just a waste of time, which runs counter to what I said earlier, which is always go with the safer method before you go crazy. But an APC, unless there's something very extremely wrong with it, an APC, you can dilute to certain levels. You should be able to wash a car with an APC when it's really nasty. And as long as you attend to it quickly, you know, after letting it sit for just however long the bottle says is okay, you could do that and then immediately clean it off.
It's like,
yeah, just depending on the product. Yeah.
As like Ethan, holy crap, that's a good one.
Coach Kimmy can throw a mean dodgeball. At least it's not Cock Kimmy. Coach Kimmy can cock trim all night long. Coach Kimmy is on the Ada channel. Oh my God. What is Coach doing? Oh my God, Hatter. No. Ethan, me too. I just don't find a need for an APC in interior.
I generally don't.
No, most people who are using an APC in an interior are doing it very diluted, because a straight APC is oftentimes a recipe to removing text off of buttons and that sort of thing.
Oh, God.
Which anybody who's ever used like a citrus cleaner on the wrong 90s car interior.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, no. Ask for horror stories from people who used one when they probably shouldn't have. That's why we always put me in, Coach. That's why we always recommend in those cases, when it comes to the interior in particular, your exterior is designed to handle a lot. So assuming you don't have already like Monster Clear Coat failure and all these other things, you should be able to wash a car on the exterior with APC and all, just fine. But interiors of most vehicles are not designed to withstand the same elements of the exterior. Unless you're talking about like a weatherproof Jeep or a Bronco or some other vehicle that's a convertible with a more weatherproof interior. And even then, I still wouldn't do it, because some rubbers are extremely sensitive, like acidic and citrus-based cleaners, that kind of stuff. Just be careful. That's why we turn to like O&R, or Absolute is a new kid on the block, can do similar stuff. You can do that kind of thing and be safe when you're doing it, and it should clean anything that's there. If it can't handle something, that's when maybe you put together a little bit of an APC, like a diluted APC, and very targeted application. Yes. Don't go ham and spray the whole thing. That's when bad things happen.
I'll expect you won't.
Oh my God. Okay.
Bet you won't.
And
right here, this is a universal cleaner. This is safe for interiors and outsides. You just have to dilute it properly, as I'm saying. Definitely, I used to pick these up in the smaller bottles, but it's become a statement in my business, something that I use all the time. So I definitely went with the gallon size and picked up the bigger size. So I always suggest pick up the bigger size, but if you want to try it out, definitely pick this up. You could even use this in your foam cannon, as you guys see me use all the time. I put about an ounce of.
This is a foam cannon in that it keeps the story straight. Because when something is canon, it now becomes part of the story, because it used one end, so it's canon, and that's a really nerdy typo to notice, but yeah.
I'm just imagining it's like canon to rule something.
Nope, I'm making a Coach Kimmy shirt for show. Cease and desist and going. Jamie, I applaud your enthusiasm, and I look forward to you sending Andrew a picture of you in your Coach Kimmy shirt with like a very conspicuous square. And tell him basically like Rupas had George as a mascot. What if Coach Kimmy, for the American audience, just has Coach Kimmy and he becomes the mascot? It's just, you come up with what you think Coach Kimmy should look like, and that is now the mascot for the company, at least in the U.S. I don't know how the Germans would feel about it, but maybe in the U.S.
I don't know.
Something stereotype about.
Well, I found a lot of funny Germans when I was in Germany, so kudos to them for having a sense of humor. Sometimes depends on who you're talking to.
One of the interesting things is it's a known thing for American military station over there is thou shalt not make peep on.
Oh yeah,
like do like mow your grass is verboten. Wash your car, also verboten.
Oh no.
See, I almost wish you had said a Coach knockoff.
Oh,
because then it'd be like a really crappy Coach bag, Max Shine, and the Coach logo.
Instead of a Fenty bag or Fendi bag, it just becomes a Fender bag. And then you have like Coach, except it just says cash, like a computer cash. And then you have like Hermes, except it's Hermes. Oh God, what if it was just herpes? I don't know. Yeah, all right. Moving
Medical
on.
waste.
This and then about 2 ounces
that
of regular
biohazard
soap to get an
symbol?
extra bit of cleaning power on those extra dirty vehicles.
Ethan, FU
All right,
is
now
great.
we're gonna
People
move
like
into
that one.
towels and wash mints and brushes and other sorts
Ooh,
of
towels.
Like that.
Yeah.
So
Towels,
my
here we
personal
go.
favorite-
Here
I
we
will
go.
say, like, in terms of scents of products, Fresh Up is not necessarily my favorite scent, but I find it inoffensive. I think it's very pleasant. It's just not my favorite one. If I had to pick a favorite, I'd have a much harder time. A lot of good stuff.
The wash mints are going to be these G-Technic ones right here. So these, they look big, but let me tell you something. There's other wash mints that when you throw them in that bucket and you pick them up, they came out 10 times heavier than what they first were. These are not like that. You throw them in there,
W5.
you pick them
Yeah.
up,
The
they feel
APC.
soft, they
Uh-huh.
feel flush, and they're very, very,
That
very
stuff's
good
good.
to use.
Mhm. Yeah,
Easy
no,
to
that
grip,
stuff
and they
is good.
definitely clean a lot better than using a towel, and a lot safer when it comes to
Yes, Alex, that's exactly it. It's wonderful. Great baby laundry set. That's what it reminded me of. It's like a mixture of laundry with baby powder, kind of.
It was you did the face thing again. I had to fix it. I was
I
like,
think I'm just a master of pausing it at the least flattering time for whoever's on screen.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. No, I think the baby scent, the baby powder scent, it's there. There's definitely a hint of that. I just want a nice little spray or two to impress the customers. Yeah, no, that's it. It's not offensive. Nobody will find it as an offensive smell. Smell Fresh Up, right? Okay, tomorrow when we're in the store, you'll smell it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
quick shout out: W5 and W6, really good at chemical decon for like restoring the performance.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think I've got CSL Exo on. Pretty sure it's done,
Yeah.
but we're at 3 of a consumer grade coating.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and all I did was just quick shout out since they're in
No,
the
of course,
background,
yeah.
right over the guy's shoulder.
That's a
there.
good product.
Yeah.
Right. You got the space bar. Go for it.
using them on cars. So these are what I use on my ceramic coated vehicles or the auto fiber shine supply mints, which are also available here at H2O.
Alex
Auto
raises a
Detail
good
Supply.
Damn it,
point.
Alex.
All right, now we're gonna move into drying towels. So what we
Oh,
have right here is my
no.
favorite, the auto fiber Dreadnought XL. So this right here.
To be fair, as far as Stekida goes, as Alex is talking about to Ethan, Stekida is a very specific scent that some people won't like, but a lot of people will really like. So
Never
it's
smelled it.
definitely more polarizing, I would say. Think,
I've never smelled it.
okay, think European nightclub.
I have no frame of reference.
Think like a strong scent that smells like what very motivated dudes think, with like a little
So
spice to it a little bit. It's very specific. I can't really articulate exactly what's going on in there, but when you smell it, you'll be like, oh, you said European nightclub? Makes perfect sense.
you know, I will say I am getting. I think it was. They made this. It was like.
Oh yeah, no, we had that in the office a long time ago.
Yeah.
Somebody like sent us a bottle of it, but then the problem was somebody also sent it. I think at some point Greg Masterson sent us like a bottle of the weed spray and then a bottle of the whiskey smelling spray. And I was like, geez, if you ever get pulled over with your car smelling like that, that's a nightmare. But I will say, then I actually took a whiff of those things. Don't worry. Nobody who smells that weed spray is going to think you have weed in your car. They're going to think something is just foul in your car. It smelled like, imagine like a pine tree air freshener that somehow was able to go bad. It was the dankest, but it was like a super artificial. It did not smell like skunky weed. It just didn't smell like. It smelled like pine tree air fresheners that got mildewy and then just super heavy, dense smell. It made me want to vomit. And also we found that when Anthony would like attack my office with it back in the day, this is like years back in, I don't know, 2015, 16, something like
The
that.
old building?
He would, yeah, the old building. He would spray it on the fan of my office and it would melt the letters off of the fan. So, and then the whiskey scent, to be fair, did smell much more like whiskey than the weed one smelled like weed. But it was rough, dude. It was rough. But I couldn't believe I'm like just hilariously bad ideas of things that you would want to spray in your car, which I think was the marketing idea behind them, where it's like, this is the opposite of what you'd want to spray into your car. Isn't that funny? Like, you can think of the type of person who would buy that thing, go spray it in my friend's car, get him in trouble.
I definitely bought strippers.
Stripper scent was more acceptable for a lot of people. A lot of people like stripper scent. Whatever you think of CG, stripper scent, in the right context, smelled very nice. It was very like a warm kind of smell, and you could smell glitter and vanilla with a hint of smokiness.
It's really funny when you spray that on your hair, and so he smells like it all.
Right, yeah, that was the move.
Yeah. Also, auto fiber.
Oh my God. Dancing for a treat tomorrow. We're chatting. Hold up. Kia Sorrento grill on the wall. What the?
I'm not going to lie. When I saw that comment, that's what made me look behind him like, what does.
Yeah, no. That is a weird. And there's a Volvo grill to the right.
And there's a Mercedes thing above it. And then there's a bunch of other badges.
I want to say that the grill above his head to the right almost looks like an Optima grill, too. Weird choices. I don't know where to be. Like,
I don't know. I guess
if I'm putting grills on my wall, I'll be honest, those wouldn't have been my first choices, but they are eye-catching in a way. I mean, me a Volvo, but you know, usually like
if you were picking, you would put a Volvo.
Yes, but maybe a prancing moose badge or something. Yeah, probably. But the Kia Hyundai, I have zero problem with Kia Hyundai as a brand, which I know some people are kind of like, ugh. I don't have that instinct, but I just think it's such a strange choice to put that on a wall.
Really, the Flex brand?
No.
Like the brand that you flex on people.
But then again,
with?
maybe that's why you do it. You show like I'm with the people. I have a Kia or a Hyundai.
I too have a vehicle that no longer runs, so I put its on the wall.
That is the implication, isn't it?
Yeah.
This came off of a car that no longer works. With the 90s Volvo, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see it, but oh boy. Mod Hatter, Hyundai's your favorite, ride or die, then I'll keep at it.
Do what, drive what makes you happy. First and foremost.
Alex,
serious.
Daisy and Daryl great news.
Hands down, definitely one of the best towels made. The way it's just designed, it's very big, so it's able to dry an entire vehicle with just one towel. So look at just how big this actual towel is.
Alex, that would have been funny.
Huge, it allows you to dry the entire vehicle with just one towel, but it's also very soft.
That's a huge towel.
I use these on all my ceramic
that
coated
seems
cars,
more like a
also
pain
as
in
well
the
as just
butt.
maintenance vehicles. These are definitely my go-to towels.
Certain people like having a gigantic towel. Other people absolutely hate it. Another reason you have so many towels is because it's not for everybody, but you want to try and reach as many people as possible. That's just good business. So, I mean,
I drive
options.
the Miata with 12x12 gauntlet. One.
Honestly, a gauntlet is overkill for them. You can totally do it.
Just the 12x12, like the
12x12 though, that is a bold choice.
That
but it works.
one.
It works.
Yeah.
You don't need more than that.
No.
It works.
Get it done with one towel, but I pair this with Sonax ceramic detailer that I showed you guys earlier, and this works in hand to give you pristine results to get that top class detail. All right, so over here we have all the towel selection here at H2O. So there's also some auto fibers over there I'm gonna pick out, but just for your multi-purpose towels from interior to even just using for door jams, I'm gonna show you everything you could pick up over here.
And I think a lot of that, based on the fact that the video opened with stuff like that, Towel Pros tends to be more regional. So you get a lot of like California brands in particular because it's more local. So it's
the thing that gave it away was Christmas colored.
Yes, those always stand out.
I was like that Towel Pro, and then
you don't see those many other places.
Yeah, and then they've got the Edgeless 450G.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Don't hate me.
No, I believe you.
It was before I saw the light.
So
Oh no.
my go-to all-purpose towels are definitely going to be these towels right here. So these are the super towels. These work very well. I use the black ones for door jams.
can't
Keep
tell.
those my dirty towels. I
Okay.
use
Super
these my
towel.
interior towels for dirt.
Because I'll be honest, I used to be more
You
up
did it
on...
again.
Sorry, his face. I used to be more on the up and up on like everything they carried, but it's been a while since I paid attention to the lineup. It's been a while. So yeah, no. When it comes down to it, I can't tell exactly what weave that is looking here. I assumed it was more of an all-purpose kind of dual density style weave, but
I don't think it's a
from
dual
here, well, I mean, where it's a little like longer on one side, shorter
I
on the
don't think
other.
so.
No.
It just like I'm looking on this computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's a single density. Like,
Oh, when I say
65.
dual density, I'm not referring to two towels sewn together.
No, like dual pile. Like one
Right.
is
Yeah,
taller
I'm
than the
talking
other.
like it could be kind of like a creature type towel,
yeah.
but with a reduced G. Which, I mean, the Edgeless 365 and the creature are kind of on that spectrum of long short, but they're kind of the two ends of the spectrum, which is funny. I keep saying spectrum because the spectrum is a creature with borders.
I was sitting there thinking that. I was
Spectrum is a 420 GSM towel
Yeah.
that is pretty much exactly like a creature, but it has a border on it, which some people love, other people don't, in which case, get a creature.
also Mod Hatter.
no, I maybe at one point
Olipop
in my
towels.
dark past bought a lot of Towel Pro towels.
Jamie, no!
Jamie, that's how you get banned. I can do that now.
I'm afraid you might give your card disease.
I have a T-shirt, so
I won't say that about anybody else's towels, but I kind of worry when something comes from, some
Alibaba or
corners of
Wish.
Alibaba or Wish.
well, so when my sister was pregnant with her,
She wanted to get me a very specific shirt.
Oh,
so
boy.
she got me that shirt. And
Was it like a child shirt, like way too small or
it was a
something?
little on the small side.
Okay.
But the problem was, I don't know what that shirt was made of. It was so itchy.
Oh, no.
I can't stand wearing it. So I wore it once.
Oh, no.
and I don't think I have it anymore.
And it was like one of those the thought that counts kind of
Yeah,
thing, where they
oh,
were really
yeah.
trying to like give you a, oh boy.
Yeah. And it
Tell
was,
Your
it
Ride
was-
deserves better than Wish.com. I agree, Alex.
Tell your ride.
I'm stressing.
Trying to make a pun.
ones, but I use the color red. Just matches my logo. So this one right here works very well for screens. Anything else you pair it with the interior cleaners I showed you before, you're gonna get great results with this, as well as the
Oh, no, Mod Hatter. I know our products. I'm talking about different competitors' towels. We're talking about like Towel Pros and some other ones, which there's good stuff in a lot of different places. Are the whole lineups always great? No, yeah. Mod Hatter, I know my shit. I will stick up for myself there. Don't worry. I know my shit. But sometimes I used to be, well, in the past, I was extremely hyper aware of what everyone else in the industry was doing. And as we've gone on, I've realized like, okay, there comes a certain point where it's almost wasted energy to try and be on top of all the things all the time and just focus on the things that you can actually, control certain segments at a time, focus here because that's what's relevant right now, and not try and just have like insane hyper vigilance looking everywhere all the time. So I try and focus more and not drive myself as crazy.
Helps. There's
Yeah.
So much band.
Exactly.
mental bandwidth.
Yeah. Christmas towels are a CG staple. Yeah. Not even going to take the multiple tags. Yeah, tags aren't fun. Yeah, thank you, Mod. I didn't want to scare you that way. Don't worry.
ability to pick up a lot of water and a lot of dirt.
I know them very well because I spent many a day and night packing them when I was the only employee at TRC.
Without having to constantly run through towels and cost you more money. So over here, we have our plethora
I know,
towels.
it's weird,
These are
right?
going to be more so if you want to add a detail spray or be a little bit more delicate. Let's say a lot of these Porsches or even Camrys have that gloss
Exactly.
interior accents. This is going to be very good, so this way you're not scratching or you're doing as much as possible to prevent any scratching on the surface. So you can use these also as wax removal towels, polish removal towels, anything really. These high plush towels work very well and have multi-purposes for you to use them. So these are what I use when I use G on glass. This is going to help you cover the entire area. You can see just how big this towel is. So what I do is I just fold it
recognize
up
that
into
one.
a half, then fold it up to another half, and then a small
Lucky
square.
V-dub.
So this gives me just
Leaves.
enough working room to grip the whole entire towel. And as you know, you need to flip and buff sometimes. This gives you more than enough sides to flip it and buff everything off without having to switch to multiple towels. So now that I covered kind of the basics, higher plush towel for, you know, wax removals, polish removals.
I'm sorry, but over here, Canadian geese are just the most annoying things.
I mean, you know, there's a YouTube.
Oh, it's savage geese,
Yep.
which I love, Mark, and yeah, no, their stuff's great, but it's just Canadian geese are
Savage.
that, and they just shit.
Yep. I live in Alaska.
The goose is loose.
As well as that. Now we're going to move into a bit of the brushes. So these right here are the Detail Factory brushes. These are personal.
Good choice.
When it comes to interior and exterior detailing. So I have red, and I also carry the black. So I use the black for the interiors. This is going to allow me to know what colors for what. I use the red for exterior. So if I want to clean wheels, calipers, or any lug nuts, and I need a brush for that, something that's going to hold up to the chemicals, this right here is definitely the one to go with. Now these are both the same, they're just different colors, but this one right here is going to be the interior one that I choose to go with. Just different colors, like I said, but you prefer what's better for you.
Now I will say what he's holding there, you'll notice the brush, the bristles are blonde color. Those are going to be like a boar's type of
Mm-hmm.
You do have to be sensitive to what surfaces you add to, because I know a lot of modern cars have a lot of gloss black finishes, piano black finishes. I would not recommend using a boar's hair brush on those finishes.
Bristle.
Go with the synthetic ones, the ones that everybody like, oh, it's just a makeup brush. No, like it's actually incredibly soft, even compared to makeup brush. And when things may feel similar, it's not necessarily the same in how they interact. So in the case of synthetic ones, go for the synthetic super soft detail brushes that Detail Factory makes. You won't regret it. Much safer for dealing with those incredibly, incredibly delicate piano black finishes, because I guarantee you in the lifespan of that car, even in the first ownership, they're gonna screw that up because they're gonna wipe something off of one of those surfaces or smear it with their finger, rub dust on it, whatever. Just make sure it's not you who's the one who did it. Okay, that's the game here.
You know, it's funny though, like I've gained a appreciation for these ever oil painting.
Yeah,
Because it's all about that. It's like hair brushes when texture, like when you're trying.
yeah.
But yeah.
And Mod Hatter, you have a good point.
Oh, that's a
the
good
black
point, yeah.
version of the boar's hair brush, which is designed for people who didn't want the blonde one for some reason, they wanted the black one.
Hey,
People have their preferences, and they like, you know, either not being able to see how dirty. That's true. It's a brunette brush. But in that case, yes, I understand how it confuses people. The way you tell black boar's hair apart from the synthetic super soft Detail Factory brushes, the tips are different. Synthetic one, the soft one. So on the tips of the synthetic one, they turn kind of a grayish whitish color. So that is how you can kind of tell them apart. But yes, but their preference can kiss my toes. Fair.
And if that's what you like, that's okay.
Oh no, don't encourage. Anyway,
Preference. This gray one is the one that I use for wheel facing as well. If you have a bigger wheel, you want to cover a bigger surface area, this is my go-to. I throw this in my wheel bucket, and this is definitely what you need when you're working with trucks or just bigger off-road tires. Now, let's move a little bit over here, and let's get into the wheel brushes. You're going to need some wheel brushes to clean the rims and clean everything. So these, if you have not tried these, you definitely need to try these out. I never tried these out until I came here to H2O. I picked these up.
So this is another case where it comes down to personal preference, and I paused.
Absolutely.
These again. There, okay.
Much better.
Better-ish. Okay, so your disagreement with the choice of wheel brush. This is a hot topic. People get crazy about their wheel brushes. Hot wheel brush talk.
Not to be confused with the brand. Don't DMCA us.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so I've had a set of these. They were like, and I like the wheel brush. That black, or it's the black.
Some people like the easy
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. It's the easy. And
Detail Factory makes a good one too. It's a newer one, but the easy one is a popular one.
yeah, I just do I use that with. Great, like. See, like. Bucky over here is trimming his beaver, but like. I want a ready product. I don't want to have to go catch a beaver.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, like.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So, but okay, still marmot, beaver, whatever. I'm glad that you're.
Dude, you're still using animal fur. I don't know about that.
Oh, Scott raises a good question.
Oh, Scott.
Maybe it's me because like I have a bad habit of pulling this away.
I have a very specific cutoff on these mics so that it doesn't pick up like background noise like click and clack. You'll get some overlap because the mics are near each other, but I do have it set to cut off, so you have to project and speak into it directly. Otherwise, it won't work as well. We're doing it. I can change the settings. You're going to get a lot more background noise, but I will change it if it makes you guys happy.
Yeah, so I did the wheel brushes. Just they didn't work well because I basically would have to do multiple passes to get barrel. So for me, the easy detail brush is just it was, in fact, as the name says, easy. So yeah, that like I made the switch. I'm way happier. I've tried the Incredibrush and it's not bad. I just feel bad using it because it's microfiber and the wheels get really dirty. And I guess in my brain, I want something that rinses out easier because I want it to release the dirt. I don't want it to hold on to the dirt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, but that's just my take on it. That's where I'm at with it. I'll probably try the Detail Factory brush at some point because I don't like the easy brush. The thing I personally don't care for is it bends really easy, fun, but like you go to flick the water or whatever out of it and it just kind of over, and I would rather it not do that. So but that's just my take.
So I changed the settings on his mic. It should be a lot more sensitive now, so it'll pick up more sound. Yeah. You're gonna get me on that mic though. That's why I was kind of setting it that way. So yeah, that'll give you a stronger sense. But hopefully that works.
Yeah, Mod Header's got the right take.
Yeah. Hello, Ethan. Welcome back.
You missed us talking about shaved beavers.
You know, we've managed to spend an hour, and we're only on this first video.
Noticing that. We are 12 minutes into a 17-minute video after an hour.
Dude, that's how we roll, man. That is it. Yeah. So to answer your question, Roush, Detail Factory is soft like synthetic ones. So are you talking about the Detail Factory wheel brush? Because there are some different swappable scleves that'll do a softer and a more firm one. So you can change it up. Yeah, chop that base handle off and screw on the Detail Factory handle. Yes, the wheel brush. Okay. Yeah, if I recall correctly, there are a couple of different sleeves. Yeah. Ethan, barrel brush is the last one I need to upgrade. I want to go with proper Detailing Co. ones, but might wait for the new version. Detail Factory brushes are amazing with the bright colors, so you can find them when you set them down and can't remember where. That is a very, like, people might laugh at that answer, but it's so true.
No, yeah.
Like, in a garage, like, you're looking around like, where did I put the... it's like bright freaking pink for our, like, Subaru theme ones we did with the STI one there. Nice. It's like, bam! Okay, you won't miss it. Done. But, yeah. Anything else you want to add before I keep going?
Nope, just I disagree on this take.
No, that's fair. And while he disagrees with that, I will say, guys, I apologize. Another 1 minute ad break. It's actually been so long. I have to run another one. But if you're subscribed, you don't have to worry about it. By the way, if you have Amazon Prime, you can use a Prime sub. So that's something that you can do. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just something that Amazon has, like a built-in deal. So if you're on Twitch and you're logged into your Amazon, just click the button to sub and it'll do Prime sub. You should be fine. Just giving you a heads up. All right.
Aw,
That's it.
Hatter.
Mud Hatter, you're so nice. So here comes 60-second ad break. Hitting you with it. I apologize, and we'll be right back after this. Thank you. All right,
Thank you.
back to the video. Mud Hatter,
I
you're too kind.
typically use the easy detail brushes, like the one we have over here, the Max Shine one. But the issue with that is when you're pulling it in and out, trying to clean the wheels, it does a lot of splash.
A lot of squelching going
on your arm or your clothes. These right here do not do that.
The
It's
splashing,
all
yeah.
that's the other issue I
delicate.
was running
You get a
into.
lot of gloss.
Well, yeah,
finishes
because
or high-
everybody gets hung up on that.
Again.
I swear, I'm a pro
You're a
at this.
magnet. This poor guy is just gonna be like, look,
Okay.
you have slandered me.
I just by pausing the video. That's so not fair. He shot the video. But okay, so the point is, like, a lot of these brushes, you'll see a lot of the cheaper brushes don't have a splash guard on them. Or if they do, it's almost like kind of like a cheap little like pie tin thing. And it gets bent or it gets cracked or whatever if you're a vigorous wheel washer.
Oh, that's emotion right there.
Yeah, so look
If
out
you're
for that.
vigorously washing the wheel.
Careful. Yeah, so just something to be aware of. There's a lot of people who, I mean, they open themselves up to damaging it, but at least it has one. It does work if you allow it to work. But I find these really cheap ones often don't have one. So just a thought, you know, if you're shopping and you don't see it in the picture, double check that it does have some kind of splashback guard. Otherwise, be ready to wear, you know, some of your wheel cleaning.
Don't want to scratch. These are good. We
Wheel
have a
washing
bigger
is
one
really
to cover a
comfortable.
bigger
It's really
area, as well
enjoyable.
as smaller
Productive
ones to get
meditation.
in between those cracks and crevices.
Don't tell that to
a lot
Anthony,
of
though.
those
He
wheels
absolutely
have, just in
hates
case you
washing
need it.
wheels.
Now we're gonna get into pet
Hates
hair
it.
removal brushes. This right here is
that a
by
dog
far
bark?
gonna save your life. A lot of people step pet
Oh,
hair
I think he's
removal
gonna.
brushes.
I think.
Oh, he dubbed
it's
it in,
not
yeah.
Yeah, he dubbed it in.
Now
I
we're gonna
think
get
I know which
into
product
pet
he's
hair
gonna go
removal
for.
brushes.
Is it going to be a
This
for
right
real?
here is by far
I
gonna
think
save
so.
your life. A lot of people see me when I do my pet hair removals and ask me, what do I use and how do I do it?
Mod
Ever
Hatter,
since I
do it.
tried this
Yes,
fur
do
reel
it,
out,
Mod.
this has by far changed my life. So this is an attachment that goes onto your vacuum and allows you to pick up pet hair without having to use a brush. Now, this is very good. These are interchangeable, so once this runs out, these little prongs that are on it, you just come over here, pick up a few of these, and boom, you're ready to go. Plug and play, pull it out, put the new one in, and boom, you're back in business. Now, I pair this also with the...
That is one thing. I think a lot of people who may not have been familiar with the concept of like how to use it for real or something. Like, I mean, it makes sense how to use it, but some people were almost concerned like, oh, it's wearing away. I'm using it, but it's wearing away. What makes it effective is the material it's made out of, but the downside is eventually it does wear itself till it's, you know, more or less flat and not as effective anymore. But you have to make it in that material for it to be effective in the first place. So yeah, at a certain point you will have to replace the top or just get a new for real. And that was something that Levi, when he was doing it in his shop, he always factored that price into what he was doing in his details. It's, yeah, okay, you're spending a few bucks on an item, but if you're doing a detail, it's why I get, you know, kind of crazy when I hear these guys who do a coating job and they're like, I want to reuse my towel for coatings. It's like, you already got like good money to do a coating job. Just use a new towel. You should factor that into your pricing when you do this
$1.
stuff. I mean, just
It's $1.
like, we always tell people, you demote your coating towels if you plan on using them again. They're safe to use in like door jambs, wheels, tires, like safer areas, but it's no longer a final touch on your paint because of the possibility, however small, that you now have some crystallized coating in there, something along those lines. That could potentially introduce scratches to the next finish you take it on. Why would you introduce that hazard when you don't have to?
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. That's one of those ones where it's like I absolutely understand and appreciate the whole economize, stretch the towel, you know, get your money's worth, and that's good. But go about it in a way that doesn't work against you actively.
Yeah.
So
I see. I couldn't hurt him with this pause because his back is to the camera.
exactly, Ethan.
Just-
Ethan, exactly. And yeah,
yes.
Dane finally figured out a way to not
Just wait till he turns around. Okay, he's not looking. Pause.
turn around. Yep.
All right, here we go. Hey, thanks, Scott. That's really nice. I appreciate you. Big time, seriously.
lily brush. So personally, I do carry both. Why? Because the different situations
Thank you.
never know. This can only fit on wider areas where it's not too tight. As compared to this allows you to get into cracks and crevices, and this bigger one allows you to also cover a bigger area than this.
those are
Now
pretty good.
drill
Yeah.
brushes. So these, you guys see me use them on my drills when I'm doing interior cleanings, or even if you want to clean leather.
got
These work
a
amazing.
different
So
set
these white ones are mostly designed for softer
the
surfaces
drill
when you want to do
brushes.
something more delicate like leather or other things like that. But I also use these for carpets. But occasionally you do need to pick up this yellow one. This is going to be amazing for carpets when you need that extra kick to pick up all that dirt and really push it out of the seams of the seats, or let alone the actual floor.
Wrong
All
thing.
right,
I
now you're
paused the
gonna need a
wrong
tire
thing. Okay, so what I wanted to clarify here is people get excited by drill brushes. They like the idea of, oh my God, I can take all this scrubbing I was going to do and replace it with a drill brush. And the part I want to caution is there's a time and a place for everything. With drill brushes, you can do a lot of work fast, but if you're not paying attention or you just get way too comfortable with it, you can also do damage that will affect that car down the line. It may not happen when it's in your hands, but it's kind of like polishing down too much when you don't have to. You're not leaving enough clear for the next time the car wants to get detailed. When you use a drill brush on a carpet, that's kind of violent for the carpet, and that can beat it up a little bit. So you're shortening the lifespan of that carpet. However small, you are doing something. Just anytime you're introducing friction to a surface like that, it's not going to be the same as it was. Sure, it gets cleaned up. It's great. It's done. And if you only plan on detailing that car once, okay, out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
Ethically think about what you're doing though, but it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm just saying, like, it depends on what that person's attachment to that vehicle is too. If they're like, oh, it's a lease, I don't care, whatever, if it's that kind of thing, I just need it cleaned as a lease return, okay, I understand that. But if it's somebody's like pride and joy, go the extra mile. Like, if you're going to use a drill brush, maybe go a little easy, Don't just go for the extreme option right away.
Well, and pick the softer bristle.
Right. And using a softer bristle will definitely save you at least a little bit of that potential damage. So, donut hole drill brush. Yeah.
I actually kind of like the middle hole ones just because I'm thinking back to, I've got the really soft bristle one. I ended up having to chop down the center bristles because they actually got twisted around each other.
Oh,
It was
interesting.
really weird. Yeah.
Huh.
I was doing the Land Cruiser, and so I was like, I'm actually gonna go for that second
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Another outside of the detailing cars is drill brushes. Awesome for linoleum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I redid.
That makes sense though, because linoleum
all day,
doesn't
every day.
have a pile. You don't have to worry about I'm beating up the the fibers or anything, because linoleum ain't that.
Yeah. So just that's a fun one if you ever got linoleum and you're trying to get some, especially if it's that textured linoleum where it's got all those little bits and pockmarks and stuff that never clean.
Yeah.
That's where your drill brushes come in, and
Fair.
it's super quick too. It's just like you don't have to sit there and like spin on a spot for ages. It's just like
Yeah.
so.
All right. We'll get back to it, guys.
I swear we're gonna finish this video
We
before
will
the end of
make
this
it, I
video.
promise.
This has a nice grip. Allows it to not
gonna be
slip.
2
Obviously, when
a.m.
you're working,
still
your hands
streaming.
may be wet, whether you're wearing gloves.
I will
or
not
wearing
pause it, but I will
so
say
you
that
can
brush
definitely,
always surprises people.
slip this
It's
out
a
of your
great
hand. But
brush.
with this grip,
It doesn't look
allows
like
you
anything
to
special,
actually fully grip the
but it's
brush,
great.
as well as the angle that's on it allows you to hit in between the cracks and crevices of the tire. Like many off-road tires have a lot of those that you have to really get into to clean out all the dirt. So this is a great brush that I highly
Ethan,
recommend.
that's a good policy to have.
All right, now you guys see me use these all the time. These are the Star Scrubbers as well as the actual Ninja
Oh, yeah,
scrub
people
pads.
like those Star
They're both
Scrubbers,
available
too.
here at H2O, but
Those remind me
recently
of the Jersey
we've been
Dog
promoting
Scrubbers.
them like crazy, and we completely sold out.
I don't know
So
if
we
that's-
definitely have to pick up another order.
In
And
this
thank you
case,
to
they're
you guys
kind
who
of,
came by. Let them know Top
yeah.
Class Detail sent you
Oh, I
and
see.
picking those
Yeah.
up. I appreciate the love and the support.
It's a little more
But
surface
these right
area
here
to
are
work
definitely
with.
a go-to as well. Today, I made a video showcasing how I use these to clean steering wheels, as they are able to bend. You're able to really bend around the entire wheel as compared to the bigger scrubber, which is amazing for bigger areas, but it doesn't allow you to bend it and really contour to the surface as well as these do.
And once again, like, it's making more and more sense why the brands that we're seeing in this shop are the ones you see, with the exception of, like, okay, Gion or Koch. I'm seeing a lot of, like, California brands. So, like, Autofiber is based in San Diego. PNS is based in Hayward. You get a lot of this stuff. Talpro's also down there. So you're seeing more of that because it makes sense in terms of proximity. He could have
that
regular
makes-
supply fairly easily that way. But he's also, it seems like he's fairly discerning in what he chooses. So I haven't seen anything that made me go, oh, why? Like, everything here makes sense.
I'm still going to disagree on
the wheel brush, but I'll say like
everything else.
Yes.
This is a good video. Like, this is like, if you send this to your friends because they're like, what do
I don't know what to do. What do?
Like, here you go.
Yeah.
This actually covers it pretty thoroughly. What was Ethan, I totally agree with you on the green flag tipped wheel and body brush. I use that with washing all my wheels.
Yeah, the flag tip nylon brush is, everybody always says, oh my God, you're using that on body panels. It's the only brush I would ever even remotely consider for that kind of duty, because the flag tip nylon is, as Ivan has pointed out many times, way softer than you expect it to be.
Yeah.
It's gentle. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, no, he's got a ton of effing brushes.
Yeah, a lot of SM Arnold there. But you know what? SM Arnold, when it comes to just like, I need a strong, durable, normal looking brush that isn't going to be weird for me, it's reliable. It's all reliable, and they're good at it. So kudos. SM Arnold stuff is good for that. Yeah. Just make sure you pick the ones that you've seen other detailers use, because in the SM Arnold catalog, you could accidentally venture into some like Jansan stuff that's not really meant for detailing, and you could totally accidentally gouge something that looks like flag tip nylon but actually is not. Look out for that shit.
Flag tip steel wool.
Yeah, flag tip steel wool. Oh, is that quadruple lot? No, it's single lot.
It's 10.
Now, for tire
it's
dressing,
10.
I love to use these tire savers. These are also by Auto Fiber. These are great for
tire
smaller
savers.
wheels.
People like those
when it comes
too.
to bigger tires, you may need a bigger brush, but I'm definitely going to show you that one right after. But for those smaller, low-profile tires, these are a go-to, as well as they last a while, so you're not having to go through applicator pads like crazy.
And the point of the savers is that
this
dividing
the other brush I
barrier
was
so
telling
the
you
product
about.
doesn't
So when it
pass
comes
through.
to
That's why you
off-road
see the two
tires,
colors.
bigger tires, this is my go-to brush. What I do is I just take the tire dressing, spray a little bit on here, maybe even some on the tire.
Oh, for
but
the
be a little
big
bit
tires.
careful
I
with
like that. That's actually really smart.
because it'll contour in.
So spray a bit on here, go around the actual tire, and this allows you to actually brush into the cracks and crevices of the tire that I was speaking about with those off-roads that have a lot of nooks that you have to get into. So you want to make sure you dress the entire tire and leave nothing untouched. And there you guys have it. Thank you for tuning in to another video.
We made it! Oh my God, we made it!
It's been 90 minutes.
Let me know what it is I missed. And what it
But
is
kudos, dude. Like, this was actually a
was a
helpful
good
video.
video.
Exterior products as well as some
He
brushes and
put
a couple
he
of
put
different
some
tools.
real effort.
Now,
Yeah.
if at all
And
you want me
this
to
is a
post
good,
different
like-
video among from the start.
And yeah, I get it's an advertisement for his
the
business,
store,
but it still makes sense.
But he also did it in a way that where he's over here just like, yo, I've got all these different products. Yes.
Damn it, I paused to get in the bad spot.
And go more into the
There, his head's turned. Now it's safe. All right.
Oh man. So yeah, no, he's got a really good store. Yes, it's an ad for the store, but it also is a value.
Yes.
It's like a valuable video. It's a value.
There's a
add.
real point to it. And I feel like somebody who knows nothing about this stuff, but has a general interest in wanting to get into detailing, this isn't going to hurt you. This is at least going to make you feel like, okay, maybe I'm starting to understand how this works. Great. That's all you need. So, yeah, that's good. Hex grip apps for low profile. Never knew they had tire savers. Yeah. Thick boys.
I didn't either.
No, and you learn something new every day. But yeah, that's right, Ethan. Okay. Good job.
We finally did it. Yeah, we're ignoring
We
the last
made it.
minute of the video, but we're saying we did it.
I feel like we made it. What is the Star Wars Star Trek blast door in the background? Like that?
I don't know.
That looks intense.
That's like either this guy has the most hardcore HEPA filter,
Oh my God, yeah.
or like I don't know, but yeah,
For real. Okay, so we've got
for your
beginning
brush.
detailer. I can take that off this playlist now because now we've watched it.
And how?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So what do we want to watch that might be of interest? I don't want to make you stay any longer than you feel like you want to get some
I'm
sleep
just
or
gonna
something.
get up and leave in the middle of the stream.
And I'm like, wait, where are you going? You're just walking? I drove you here.
I told you.
We'll find something. So I'm gonna let you pick. You pick what interests you. You can go ahead and will that reach? There you go.
It kind of will. You know, I've looked at this Gears and Gasoline store-bought product for ages.
Have you ever actually watched them?
Gears and Gasoline, just any video? Yeah, I've watched a few.
But I mean, like their detailing videos.
I watched a few, and some were, I don't know, I guess I like
I mean,
like the videos
it's
that
the
conform
closest thing to
technique.
detailing porn, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I was just like,
It's
okay.
it's fulfilling a particular niche, but it's not necessarily educational.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful many times, but it's not necessarily educational. Sometimes like detailers want to watch it because it's just kind of like satisfying. I don't have to do the
absolutely.
work. I can just watch somebody else do
Yes.
the work. I understand that. I get that. Let's watch Anthony caulking his trim. I don't believe I have that. Yes, Mod Hatter, I said that word. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I apologize.
Dan, hot buckets. Oh man. Ooh.
I couldn't even finish saying it.
Larry with a Lamborghini Countach, disgusting disaster detail. I'm not telling you what to watch though. Find something that interests you. I just saw that and I went, oh yeah, I forgot that was on this playlist. We can always look up more stuff too. If there's not something that interests you here, we can
I'm
definitely
gonna
look.
do that thing where you're just like, oh, you know, whatever, I'll find something, I'm sure, and then 16 hours later. So I'm just gonna pick this and send it.
All right, we're along for the ride.
Well, I actually need to pause it.
All right, we're getting
$99,084.
yeah, we're getting nerdy with it. What's that
Wow.
translate to? I don't know. Somebody do the math.
In today's money, I don't even know.
Hot pockets are disgusting, says Dane's deflated pool.
OnlyFans.
MOMWC plane video was great. Okay. Did you know, if you look back far enough on the TRC channel, we did some videos on planes too.
One or two.
There are a couple with
Yeah.
Chad. Those are fun.
You know.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to get
Oh,
a
yeah.
little more.
Watch me hit Alt F4 with
leeway.
the cable.
Oh god.
Until today.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. Look. Okay.
Yeah.
It actually looks not bad.
Of their sphincter, as weird as that sounds.
Sphincter.
What?
He's the one who said it.
Oh my god, Jamie. If you just say it that way, you can say hot pockets, or you can say raw Pop Tarts. You can do it either way.
See if you can pause on Larry's sound face.
Oh no. That's gonna be the new game, isn't it?
Countach in Connecticut, so they gave me a call to help with the restoration.
Okay,
Plus,
this is very
I've known
quiet.
Vinny
I
from the
gotta
Smoking
turn it
Tire
up.
podcast and a bunch of videos we've done together in the past, so I knew this weekend was gonna be a blast.
Are you excited, Vinny?
Absolutely excited.
With all my inspection gear, lights, paint depth gauge, portable tire pump, cameras, and so on getting packed up, Vinny and
Yeah,
Albert
skank
arrived from Florida, and we jumped in the car and headed upstate.
That's
We're
right,
going to
Jamie.
go see this car. Yeehaw! $1,000.
Oh, Tycon Cross Turismo. Well, that was unnecessary.
Once we arrived at the meeting spot, Tony, the owner of the car, showed us all his files and all the pictures that he had of the car from the day that he bought it. And you can
This
really
is me
see
scratching
that
it
he
in the
loves
80s.
the Lamborghini,
Oh my
and he put a
God.
lot
This
of
is
time
me
and effort
pulling the
into keeping
entire
the
thing
files in
out
good
for
shape.
some reason.
So, okay,
As
I
you can
don't want
imagine,
to
these
pause it
records are
and make us take forever to watch this video, but I just want to pause it for a moment
2
and
a.m.
say,
stream.
I just want to say, like, okay, so this guy has, he owned it, and he has all these pictures of it when it was in great condition. What compels a person to then let it wind up in this condition he found it in? What's the series of events? Like, economy took a turn and the guy was invested in the wrong things, assuming that was the case because, you know, expensive car from a long time ago and he bought it when it was new, presumably? Was that what it said?
I don't
or did
know.
he? Oh, okay. Anyway,
like the
I'm
text
just,
at the beginning was just talking about, I said Alt F4 because I'm a Windows boy, and this is a Windows keyboard. Bite me.
it is. It's a Razer keyboard I'm using on a Mac.
But They didn't say anything so far, except over all the stuff we were like didn't really hear, maybe kind of ignored.
Okay. We'll let it keep playing. We'll see. I was just curious because it takes some work to let it get that bad.
They just let
Potentially.
it sit.
Super valuable to establish and to verify the provenance in the vintage supercar world. So that is really helpful to the guys at the Curated. From there, we followed him back to his garage to see the sleeping Countach.
There was a definite amount of time between that cut.
Oh, the sun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
I like the plant growing in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you wanted a barn find. Here you go.
We certainly found one. Wow.
He's
Once
seen
inside,
leaf.
you could see
A
the engine
leaf.
cover and the wing work on the car, and clearly
This
it
isn't
hasn't
a
been moved in a
Nissan.
very long time. The layer of dust and mice
Oh, wow,
was thick,
345
but I did want to
tires.
understand a little bit more about the story
Yeah.
behind this particular car.
That's like capital meats.
So we have a
Yo, fat
1985
meats.
Lamborghini
Big
Countach.
boys. Two
I
C's.
purchased it and
Trumpets on the back.
1988.
Yes.
and drove it from Ohio to Connecticut. We drove it 15 hours
Sheesh.
straight through. How do you explain to yourself, why did I get a Lamborghini Countach? First night I took it out on the Boston Post Road, caused an accident. Okay, people stopped in the road because I was at a gas station getting gas.
Oh no, Alex, I totally agree. I love that
Why?
Taycan Cross
'Cause you stopped
Turismo.
in the middle of the road to see the car. 2 fuel tanks. I
Different
remember
color for
being
me, though. I get
quite-
green.
Quite funny because we're passing the gas hose through the car to get the other tank.
Oh God.
You would think, is that mouse or chipmunk?
Uh,
Who knows? But it's
That's
a
an
nut-eating
acorn
creature.
that's
That's
been
for
chewed
sure.
up.
On the table in front of the Lamborghini were bags and bags of original Lamborghini spare parts. He intended to use those when he was rebuilding it, but never got around to
That's
it.
a lot of
including
vintage
the
hardware.
super rare and iconic wing.
oh, of course. You gotta
As
have
part of
the
the
wing.
purchase, all the spare parts would go along with the car down to Curated after the cleanup, which is definitely needed. As you can see in the trunk,
Look at that thing behind him, man. I don't know if I agree with the wheels on it, but that's another kind
That's
of
fun.
that looks fun. Boomermobile, but fun.
as
Also, the wing. I know some people on the Countach are like, no wing, and I get that. But for the 5000 particular model, the wing is it. I mean, if you're
it's the
looking at
Countach.
yeah, I mean you're talking like Cannonball Run era
Yeah.
type one. The early Countachs, like the mid to late 70s ones that didn't have a wing, that were just a clean wedge design, are very cool, but kind of different from what people picture Countach today. Just saying.
he removed those old towels, lots of creatures and critters
moving
made their
blankets.
home in this very exotic car.
I can't grow grass on a lawn, but I
Oh,
can grow it in
Oh my God, that's grass growing in there.
Oh shit.
To get her
Pocky
moved,
mushrooms.
Tony lifted the car
You can
and then
cuss
took
on
out
here.
the
This
old
isn't
wheel
my day
skates from
job.
underneath the original
It's a
Pirelli P7s.
thing.
Next,
It's
he
fair,
filled
though.
the
If
tires,
you don't
which
feel
at
like
the
it,
time
it's
he said
okay.
only had
No,
6,000
it's more
miles
just
on
I
it,
tried
to see if they could actually hold some air so that we could
check
roll
myself
it out
with-
instead
so I
of
don't
drag
wreck
it out.
myself.
Inside,
okay.
you can actually see the original keys in the ignition
Oh,
from
they just
20
left
years
them
ago.
there.
While all that was going on, and
Yeah.
we were waiting for
I
my
don't know,
guy
that one-
Devin
that
Bendel
part
from
doesn't
Brendo's
really
Tone
surprise
to
me.
show up, I started snooping around the garage for interesting automotive and transportation signs, and just off the cuff, he randomly mentioned, oh yeah, by the way, I actually have another car locked up in the barn in the backyard.
What?
While I appreciate his quantity
It's a
of vehicles,
1953 MGT type that I had to see for
Oh.
myself. He mentioned this was his father's car, and judging by how well organized all the workshop tools were on the wall, and they had been left for years, I bet this guy was a pretty cool car guy. So I'll be restoring the MG later on this year.
Nice.
That's cool.
Back at the garage, we moved the heavy forklift and then cleaned out a bunch of
What?
weeds while Vinny
This is a
carefully packed
forklift
up all
for
the
it
spare
sitting in
parts
there
and
for.
containers for transportation down to Miami.
Of course, Miami.
With the lift bed down and a very confused dog not too sure what's going on and why his car is being moved, Devin set up the tow ropes to pull her out
Yeah.
and to pull her up on the bed while Tony hopped inside. for his very
Jeez,
first
almost
ride.
like guillotine the dog there.
Talk about John Wick.
Whoa, hey, nobody do that.
Well, don't guillotine a dog.
Obviously not.
Why? You know what? I was a lot younger when I used to drive this.
Friggin' Alfie.
Now, with the Lambo secure on the truck and all the spare parts stacked in the rental, we thanked Tony and wished him well and headed back to the studio to tuck her in for the night.
Nice AMG wagon he had behind him
2
back there
hours later,
too.
as night fell, we rolled
Took
her
us
off
good
into
taste.
the studio
Yeah.
and under the lights.
I'm definitely
trying to get
seeing
a better
that.
look at the years of
God, those
grime
tires
embedded
must
in
be
every crease and crevice,
dry,
along
rotty.
with a ton of mouse poo in the trunk, all over the dashboard, which was a new one for me, spider webs everywhere, and a total disaster in the
Oh,
glove
that's
box.
cool, fan
Make sure
stuff.
to check
Yeah.
out what I pulled out.
I
of
love
there
those
later
phone
on in
dial
the
wheels
episode.
so much,
But
though.
otherwise, the
Such
interior was
classics.
dirty but salvageable. Just needed a
And I
thorough
like how the
detail
Diablo did
before
it too,
mechanic
but
can be let
updated it.
loose inside. Now check this out. I use a
I'm
really
struggling
small
to
camera
picture
to
that
get
one.
into the frame so I can see
Picture.
if there's tons of mouse poo or acorns found along what I like to refer to as the mouse highway to get into the car, aka the frame. And sure enough, there was. Same thing in the engine compartment and a ton of remnants of food and urine on top of the
Editors
manifold.
know this is
We
super
did need
gross.
to
Yes, I agree,
Yes.
editor.
to curate.
Agreed.
Bright and early
Oh,
the
yeah,
next
that is a
morning,
good
Vinny
rendition.
found the lift points on the car, which is easier said than done, by the way, and we started to foam, boost, and brute power wash with the foamer just to let the chemicals do their work before we ever touched the car. Vinny also suggested we place the engine cover and the wing on it just for now to minimize soaking the interior parts.
Yeah.
More on this later.
It's always good to minimize soaking.
Next, we broke the wheels loose, removed them, put them to the side before power washing 20 years of dust and dirt on arguably one of the most sexy cars ever produced. Enjoy.
15-inch wheel, 345 millimeter wide tire.
Just like any
That's a
other
hard
when you're
tire to
power washing,
find.
Be sure to keep an eye on all the
Vipers
seals,
have a
this
similar
much time
problem
it's
for the
common
early
for them to
Vipers.
dry out and leak. This is why sometimes I avoid the pressure and just use frothy instead.
Yeah, look
The
at that
Lambo
drip.
only had one small leak, which is
Wrong-
probably
bad
due to
kind
the
of drip.
drilling inside
Yeah,
all these
no,
years.
this is
If
not
it
the
was
drip
left
you want.
outside all these years with drastic temperature fluctuations, it's very likely it's just going to leak like a sieve.
Yeah, that's fair. Those seals ain't what they used to be. And even then, they probably weren't that great to begin with.
Next, I foamed the paint and allowed it to soak and boost and foam. And is there anything sexier than a soapy red Countach? It was a complete privilege to work on, and even to be in the same room as one. It has this
He's horned up for
weird
this
aura
Countach.
around it.
I mean, I don't
He likes
really
it. That's
blame
fair.
him.
Who doesn't love
I-
a
look,
Countach?
okay, look at that.
It's a childhood poster car. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
After the paint
That's
and
me.
emblems
That's
were
my fault.
agitated,
I
I
broke it.
focused on the wheel wells with
I broke it.
plum and my
Pause.
That was on me.
Now you can
brush
pause.
to cover larger.
Sorry, I broke it. I meant to be like, look at that. Do you blame the guy?
Oh no.
That's something to
That's
get
one of the
worked up
all-time
about.
car booties.
Yeah, that's weird. Of course. Yeah. I would
fair.
get worked up about working on that.
Sure. Absolutely. Can't go wrong there. Now, I mean,
Like it's a red two-door coupe. Who wouldn't get excited about working on a red two-door coupe?
right? Okay. We're giving too much away. You are here to help us with a project. We're just not saying what yet.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the Lamborghini.
Oh, okay. I'm alluding to other things. Also, by the way, sorry, I'm going to hit you with a 1-minute ad break. If you're subscribed, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not subscribed, consider doing that. You don't have to. I'm not demanding it by any means. But there is a 60-second ad break coming. Just warning you in advance. If you have Amazon Prime, though, you can't get a Prime sub. So you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just something that Amazon gives you when you have a Prime membership. It's cool. You can use it on your favorite streamer. I hope that's me.
Dane's deflated pool.
He is here to hang up Anthony's barn door. Oh, God.
Dead ass offered him that.
It was super cool.
We'll see if that actually happens.
Washing a Lamborghini. After the paint and
Okay, I don't know
were
if I'd sing
agitated,
to the
I
car.
focused on the wheel wells with ammo plum and my large undercarriage brush to cover larger areas,
probably
and
my
the exhaust pipes with a
sound
smaller
point.
brush and a wash mitt before drying with a microfiber towel and compressed air to flush out the trapped water.
I will say, because Alex was saying, I'm convinced he uses car wash towels. Now, I can't say for certain that he's never used one, but I know for a fact that he has gotten his own supply for a long time of just his car wash-esque towels that he uses. So they're very similar in that way. Some of the specifics are a little different. You could check on his site, but he's just had those for a long time, been happy with them. But we talked to him before, and he's come to our booth multiple times at SEMA. We met him whenever we go over to Detailer's Domain. I've met him several times. He's a really cool guy in person. Like very, like what you see in the videos is pretty close to what you get in real life. So, I mean, he's very like particular and nerdy about, you know how Anthony gets like very particular. He has some of those qualities where it'll kind of be like the, and sometimes like kind of go off into space, but it's not to like offend you. It's literally like thinking about something that just occurred to them kind of thing. Some people get like that. I've noticed that with him a few times, but he's very particular, but very like cool. Just, he's got a cool way about him. Nice. So yeah, shout out Larry. All right. And he was nice to my mom, which always counts, well.
I mean, yes.
Mod Hatter, I'm talking about Larry, the guy in this video. His name's Larry Casilla, and he's arguably one of the most famous detailers. If somebody knows a detailer and they spend a lot of time online.
Yes, Larry the cable guy.
Yes,
lost
Larry.
A lot of weight.
Larry the Casilla guy.
Next, I typically measure the paint to get a feel for what's left over the middle and what I can work with. Now, in most cases, having a consistent
Larry the Casilla
read
living
from
in
one panel
Wasilla
to the next indicates that the car is original. But
With
what's
the
super
chinchilla.
interesting is on cars like the Countach, inconsistencies or fluctuations in the paint within reason is what indicates it's actually original. Most of these were hand painted in barns and garages back then, so human inconsistencies are to be expected here. That's why we're trying our best to perform a preservation detail to keep it original and to maintain its market value.
That's smart.
Anyhow, we first tried a yellow pad and yellow polish, and it looked much
Good
better.
choice.
But I wanted to see if we could get a little bit better cut with the Meguiar's red foam pad and yellow polish, which
he instantly goes to a different option.
Now,
I was going to say, so what he was using there first, if you didn't catch it because it was like blink and you'll miss it, that was Rupa's DA, coarse and DA fine, the system with the blue and the yellow. So that's a really good system for people who are like, I'm looking for something new. I would recommend that as something to try.
Compound and polish.
Yes. So yeah, when you're looking at those, it's their whole blue-yellow system. Very good stuff.
Nice.
Much like the huge detail we did on Matt Farrer's Countach a few years ago, each panel seems to have a mind of its own as the
Chef
techniques and the
Boyardee paint
results
job. Yeah,
will
Alex.
vary from one to the next. Again, likely a result of hand painting at the time.
Mamma mia, it's a mess.
All right, guys, I'm behind the camera right now. This
Like
is the
the new
section
Super
that I
Mario.
just did. and it
Freaking
looks
Chris
pretty good.
Pratt.
Take a deep look at the light that's up there, that big square or rectangle rather. I just used a yellow Rupes pad with yellow polish.
I like that he
Using
uses that's like a
Came
6
off,
or 7
looks
inch
much
pad.
better. We exfoliated the
So for people who are like, I'm new to detailing, what's going on there? Why is it turning red? That is single stage. Yes, the pad there. When you see color transfer matching the color of the vehicle you're working on onto your pad, that is a case of single stage or a case where perhaps there was clear coat there at one time and now it's gone.
And congrats, you're getting rid of the now very thin base layer.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get hit primer.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to those, there's not much color coat there to begin with.
I know from
But with
first
single
hand.
stage, if it's the right age, single stage makes sense, then you're good. It's meant for that to happen. It's just when you're working on a more modern single stage car, if you start to see color.
A more modern
Yeah.
what stage car?
Well, okay, sorry. A
Base
clear
clear?
coat, base
Yeah.
clear setup. So, yeah, you could call it multi-stage, I guess, if you want to be, whatever.
I'm just
about it.
saying it's a base coat, clear coat. It's
Yeah.
not really a
No, it's true. Like single stage in the case of pre-clear coat cars with the single stage, you are going to get transfer. That's just gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's
that's normal.
That's normal.
yeah.
So some people, when they're first detailing and they don't know a single stage car from something else, they're going to be shocked when they go and do it and go, "Whoa, what's going on?" What they don't realize is when you're working on a base clear system car, the same thing is happening to your pad. It's just you can't see it because it's clear coat.
Yeah.
But the same thing is happening.
Also, random side note, I think Toyota was the first or last car company to use single stage paint. And I think it was like their super white on like Tacomas. And I think there were even some as new, I'm going to say 2014, that were single stage paint.
Toyota on their Tundras offered a white paint that was a
Yeah.
single stage paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. as late as like 2014 or 2015, maybe even 2017.
It was weird.
They had that for a long time, but it was like a work truck spec white. It was
Yeah.
very
Like it was like, okay, fine, yeah,
plain.
sure.
It wasn't anything fancy, but just showing that some cars had single stage way later than you expected them to.
I would argue though that was definitely an exception.
Right, yeah, that is not the norm in terms of okay, so the last polish, you're asking about the last polish specifically. I have a lot of experience with the last cut compound by the last detail, which is fantastic. So like last cut products are excellent, but specifically last cut compound can finish like a polish. It's pad dependent. So if you use like a finishing pad, you can get amazing results just from last cut compound, which I know is very confusing for people who are getting into detailing and aren't super familiar with all the terminology yet. They think like, okay, a compound is always going to be the really aggressive route.
Right.
But in this case, you can finish with the last cut compound. Very unusual. That's not the norm. Other compounds, you're not going to get that. But last cut compound was designed to be used with more aggressive pads and then work your way down until you finish. And you can do it all just changing your pads using the same machine and the same last cut compound to do everything. And it'll look great. We know from experience. I don't know if you've used it much yourself or
I've used it some. I have a bottle of it. I haven't experimented with it as much as I would like.
What's your normal go-to?
Well, so what sucks is I really haven't been able to do as much detailing as I would have liked since moving to Alaska. But see, honestly, weird one. Uno Protect has been my thing lately because
nothing wrong with that. We love Uno Protect.
Well, so I like it. A really good example. My aunt bought a new truck and it had been attacked by a stranger with a rotary at the dealership. You know, just, I'm making it look good. No, you're not. You're doing the opposite of that. And like my aunt, who does not wash her own car, was like, this looks funny.
Yeah.
That's how, and which
that's a sign.
It was bad.
If it's perplexing to her, then it's definitely gone too far.
Yeah, exactly. So so what I did was she was up in Anchorage because she lives on the Kenai Peninsula.
Okay.
A few hours south. She was up in Anchorage for some stuff. And so I grabbed it was like a Rupes, a yellow pad, or it was either a yellow wool or maybe it was a yellow foam, and Uno Protect. And I actually got to do the really fun detailer thing where you're like, I just like, the machine's running, so you're not gonna be able to hear me, but I'm like I just point at the spot and I go back and forth a little
Watch
bit with
this.
And it just disappears in front of her eyes. Yeah, I know. And she was over the moon excited because her truck doesn't look like garbage and doesn't need this crazy expensive repaint to fix.
Right. No, a lot of people get very scared when they look and go, oh my God, it's ruined. Now I have to paint the whole car. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
If a detailer tells you you should repaint this, then maybe. Yeah. But maybe get a detailer's eyes on it before you just go straight to the new paint job. Because that's a lot of money. Whereas a detail is, for most cases, paint correction is more expensive. But even then, it's nowhere the cost of a paint job.
Yeah.
So
I guess, I don't know, maybe this is speculating on my part. I'm kind of thinking the last cut products, their shtick is being pad dependent. So I would
diminishing abrasives style product.
Yeah. So, but also pad dependent where it actually does positively respond to like more aggressive pad, more aggressive cut.
Yeah.
So I would guess the last polish is trying to do a similar thing as the last cut, where it's like trying to be able to maybe go as far as to do very light jeweling. If you get like a white,
like really fine tuning stuff. I would say most people, there wouldn't be a need for something other than the last cut compound. If you're getting a last cut product, the last cut compound can do, I would say 95 to 98% of jobs can be done with just the last cut compound.
And just switch your pad down.
And you can finish to a point that even other like pro detailers would look and go, damn, that looks good. Nice. Like you can do that with the last cut compound and a really good finishing pad and not need anything else. I know Anthony sometimes he would like to finish off with like hyper polish or something.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to like fine tune something, but that's kind of for a detailer's eye kind of deal. And the last cut compound can get you there with the right, work. But yeah, no, I would definitely say that's something to being hip and cool with that. Yes.
You smoke a abrasive because that's not gonna F up your lungs all day long.
Jewel jokes. Also, Rhino, since you popped in here and you were just saying you enjoyed like learning on this stuff, yeah, that's kind of what this is meant to be. Is just we're watching these videos, but it's really an opportunity for us to actually like talk about this stuff too, in a way that's hopefully teaching you guys something, and you're able to go home and try it for yourself. But yeah, I would say the last cut products are really good, but oftentimes a diminishing abrasive. I can't speak from experience on the last cut polish though, because in our use, I'm sure Anthony and Levi have got experience with it. I don't though. I've just stuck with the last cut compound, and you can finish with it. And I see the same stuff they do, and I look at that and go, that looks great. But in your case of Uno Protect, the whole appeal of that is being more of an all-in-one and being able to do the whole job, and the protection's already there.
Yeah,
yes,
that's why I went with
you
it.
can wipe with something else if you want. You don't need to, but some people will be like, why are you changing the product? Sometimes they like the wipe off better when you use something else like Bee Maker or something like that and wipe it off. You can even use O&R or something, just wipe it. But if it improves it without taking away what's there. But it's mostly a matter of, it's nice having that protection built in, and people might think all in one, filler city. No, with Uno Protect, it's interesting because while it does have some filling effects, and they'll tell you that, it's not like other ones. Like you see, like, what was it, Speed out there? It was like fill like crazy.
HD Speed,
this is not that. Uno Protect is cool because even though you're doing the all-in-one thing, it actually corrects. Like it actually corrects.
I know
on
this.
top of helping fill in some of the other inconsistencies. That's why the results always look awesome. And if all your customer wants is it for it to look awesome and you not take away too much clear coat, but enough that it corrects the really bad stuff, and it has a nice protective layer on it, do that. I mean, that Uno Protect solves pretty much all that. You don't need much else. If that's all you're doing is, I want to deliver a really good looking car to a customer, but they're not taking it to like, car show competition where they're going to have their paint judged like right up close. A regular person's going to look at it and think that looks fantastic. Even a judge will think it looks fantastic. But if somebody goes to wipe with like heavy duty, degreaser or panel wipe or something, okay, then maybe something gets pulled off.
Right.
But normal people aren't going to do that.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Have a good night, Mod Hatter.
Yeah, have a good night, Mod Hatter.
I didn't know I was a legend, but that's cool.
Aw.
Thank you.
Yellow polish, obviously it's single stage paint, came off, looks much better. We exfoliated the paint, it looks good. Here's what it looked like before.
I always love the
Now, on this
dermatology
side,
terms for
tried something else.
detailing.
We used the red Meguiar's foam pad, the same pad that we used on Freedom 1.
Moisturized.
You can see right here, here's the before, here's the after. There's much more clarity and more depth. Look at that rectangle again. Zoom in as much as I...
That is like...
much
close I
sharper
can get there.
looking.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Much
that
more
is like
clarity.
cadmium red.
And
Yeah.
this
There's
one,
that
you see, it's a
oil painting
little
Yep,
fuzzy,
yep.
a little fuzzy,
It's
a
part
little
of me
fuzzy,
now.
however you wanna
Tony,
describe
I
it,
wish I was normal
versus
people. I'm sorry, Tony.
I do
You
and I
can't be
don't.
normal.
perfectly clear.
None of
and
us can be
still
normal.
intact,
We've seen
so we're
nerd
gonna use
too
that
much.
method on the rest of the car.
I don't like... I
Next,
don't
we
want
repeated
to
the
be-
same
I
steps
do and I
on the rest
don't.
of the car and adjusted
I
course
can't help
with
I'm
more or less
wired this
pressure,
way.
liquid,
It's not
or
gonna
passes
change.
to see which tweak might work for that specific panel.
I'm stuck having seen what I've seen.
Here,
I
you
just
can
know
clearly see the
what I'm
50-50
looking at now
shows
in many cases,
considerable
and
depth
it
and clarity
bothers me
versus
not
the original paint.
knowing that I couldn't fix it.
If you're
or
a super
something.
nerd and want to get into the nitty-gritty, I have a full-length video of detailing
That was
Matt
a lot of
Farah's
double
Countach with an
negatives.
in-depth tutorial from Kevin Brown
I'm
about
used
the
to it.
nuances associated
Russian
with these
does double
types of
negatives
paints
all
and
like
paint
it's
correction
normal
techniques.
for their grammar. So I have to like flip back and forth and be like, no, that's a correct double negative. This is what they mean.
Knowing Larry, I feel like he's probably going to pull these badges, but with the age of the car, I'm not sure. So I'm curious to see if he does that or not.
Yeah, actually, that's good. Yeah, good question there.
The next day,
I feel
with the
like it
paint looking much
should be,
better, I
but,
removed the wing and the engine
It's
cover to
interesting
start the
that
journey
that's
of
the way
road
that
removal,
comes
so the
off.
boys I curated
It not
tweak it
just
big
like
for
flip
the
up and just
restoration
boop,
process.
pops out.
Yep.
They were like, screw these hinges. We don't need hinges. Just take it off.
For the engine, I clearly don't want to power wash it, so I used Frothy to loosen up the grime so I could just scoop it up later with a towel.
Yeah,
And Vinny told
old
me that they were
Italian
actually gonna pull the
V12
engine
probably
out either
best
way,
not
so my
to
goal is just to make life a little bit less
fate.
hazardous.
Yeah, that's basically
Now check this
creating
out,
a
I'm
blown
pretty
head
excited.
gasket.
Behind the scenes for the past 2 years or so, I've been working on this patent-pending flow-through wheel woolly with the team at Braun
Okay,
Brush. Now this
that-
basically is a hollowed
Oh,
out
that's
wheel
cool.
wool
I've never seen
connects
that, but
to
that
the
is
aerator.
rad.
When you push the blue trigger, Frothy travels down the hose and into the woolly and out the end so that you're
Okay,
always
I've
working with
never
fresh
seen that
product,
before,
and
but
you're
that's
flushing out
cool,
all that
Larry,
dirty or
that's
scrubbed
cool.
grime off the surface when you're working at the same
You
time.
could be
so it's just
reductive and
carrying
be like,
away
ah,
all the junk.
yes,
It's
the thing that
absolutely
is in
amazing.
every car wash.
I was about to say, I was like, it is basically that idea, but I bet that's where the idea started.
I mean, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
but
It's just
it's something
scaled
that,
down.
It's a portable version
Yeah.
of that, though.
Yeah.
Using a pressure sprayer.
yeah, it's
It's a novel concept
Yeah.
in and of itself, but it came from car wash pan spray.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
I'm not saying that as a fact that I know it, but I mean, you can kind of infer that's where the idea came from.
Yeah.
Originally, it was designed for cleaning wheels and inner barrels with or without water in the Frothy hoseless kit, but I'm using it here to sort of just test it out. I'll have more info in the description. It has been a ridiculously long
There's a very
journey
happy
getting
dog
from
in the
this
background.
idea all the way to manufacturing, but it is an amazing tool and I'm super proud of it. I'll have more info on my website.
No, that's dope.
Next was the trunk covered in seeds and mouse poo, and there was just a lot of both of it. So step one is just to remove the carpets and sort of check the sound deadening material, but it was actually soaked in urine and falling apart as I was vacuuming, so it just wasn't worth it. So Vinny
10
asked
to
if I
1,
could strip
BB in
everything
that
down
beauty.
to the fiberglass where possible.
Oh.
After unscrewing and lifting the rear cover off, behind it was a massive mouse nest. It was soaked in urine and poo, indicating that the rodents left their home pretty recently. My guess is probably when we were doing about 80 miles an hour on the way from his house to the studio, but whatever. At this point, I just started pulling everything out and throwing it away before vacuuming the remaining junk.
Yeah. Best to just replace
Take a
that
look
with
at the
new
rear
material.
fiberglass
You're not
piece
hurting the
after
car's
I removed
value
the
by doing
disgusting
that.
fabric.
Arguably,
This is what
you're
makes
improving
this
it.
car
It's
so special. at least to me.
strategically
You can
a
clearly
good
see
choice, not a bad
every little
choice.
part of this was handmade just to fit right in the back side of this car. It's really cool. Next, I wanted to clean and sanitize from
curious
the
how he's gonna
bottom
clean that
side as
carefully.
well, because earlier when I was blowing with the air on the top,
I
of
think
the
it's
engine,
cool
I
he
could see
included the
this
curb
little
weight. Like,
flow of
most
urine
people wouldn't
being
care, but I
sprayed
think that's
towards
cool.
the bottom of the driver's side, towards the back of the trunk. It was super gross, so it was time to use the degreaser and
think he
remove
said
as much as I could
flow
to
of
help the
urine.
mechanics avoid a
Yikes.
mouthful of pee as they drop the engine.
Oh.
That's gross.
Be careful what you shoot at in here.
Some
things
Sorry about my
don't
fun
react well to bullets.
Oh yeah, that definitely doesn't smell good.
Yeah, I think he made the right call with the soap.
Oh, it's just gonna be dripping on him when he's going under there.
Look at, come here, check this out.
I'm just gonna pretend
What?
that that's water at this point.
Yeah,
never seen that
probably
before.
best.
The little wheel. It goes.
I think that's the e-brake.
Oh, I bet you. Look at that. I think that is the parking brake.
Ha!
Or
Yeah.
the e-brake or something.
Yep.
Have you ever seen any?
I've never
I've
seen
never
a
seen
pulley
anything
though
like that
like
before.
that.
That is.
And these are actually Brembo
Oh, you know
as
what's
well.
interesting is that
If
rod
you've ever seen
probably
anything that
goes
can tell me the
forward
history of
and
that,
then.
please let me know, because that is ridiculously
That
cool.
spins
I've
it.
never ever seen that underneath. Check that out.
I repeated the same steps.
It's kind
on
of
the fiber-
freaky that it's just hanging there, though. Like it's not.
No, it's not freaky. It's Italian.
I mean, the two are sometimes interchangeable.
glass wheel
yes,
wells,
Bucky
the
has that.
calipers, and of course the suspension. Again,
Bunga
all
bunga.
being removed, repaired, or even just replaced by Curated in the next week or so. Afterwards, I cleaned the telephone dial wheels with Plum and a wheel
Love
brush. Now,
those
these
wheels
are
so
the sexiest
much.
supercar wheels, even
Yes.
still today. Can you imagine in the 80s? It would be crazy to see this thing rolling down the street. So I dried them and then put them back on the car.
Oh wow, the
Okay,
Oz
for the next step,
logo cleaned
I'm
up
getting
nicely.
the steamer
Yeah,
ready. We're
okay.
going to work on the interior of the car.
Oof.
Now, there's
Your
something
deflated
interesting that
face.
just popped up. Is if you look at the door over here, this one doesn't function. The other one works just fine, but the hydraulics on this one don't work. So you have to really kind of squat, and I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. This door is incredibly heavy. Why? Back here, there's a bolt, and it holds a steel beam that goes through. So there's a piece of steel
Your crash
for DOT
support.
regulation when it came over to the United States for side impact, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. By default, it makes this door
Yeah, 'cause jet
incredibly
fuel
heavy,
can't melt
especially
those.
when it's not functioning right. So if this comes down with this sharp
This is
point
now
view,
conspiracy
describe what's gonna happen. This could be major damage going on.
Demonetized.
I've worked on a lot of cars that
And
can get you really
See,
ill
they-
from all the
see,
mice poo and that kind of
respirator.
thing. But
Yeah.
there are
Respirator.
ones that
Good.
could
Yep.
potentially
Correct.
chop your arm off.
Hazmat
So
suit.
I came
Yep.
up with a
Except
little
that
bit of a
glove.
plan.
I was gonna say,
here.
those are all different
Using one of my
videos and
camera
not this
mounts,
one.
of my camera stands. There's a piece of rubber, so it's super soft. Push this
Yeah,
down.
seriously.
Yeah, no, that's a
It'll lock
hazard.
into place,
Oh.
and I think it will stay. So I think we're gonna shoot some cameras in here, some lights, and I'm gonna work from the other side because you can see inside here there's a bunch of mold. So I'm gonna do a little bit of Gumby action because I don't feel comfortable laying across this because I want to go home tonight. Once inside with all my limbs
he's
back,
correct. That's
you can
very
see
smart.
the acorns and the mouse poo again all over the dashboard.
Also
which at this
gated
point isn't
manual
really a
shift.
surprise.
Yeah.
But what I do find in the glove box later will make you gag.
Oh, it's so wet.
Oh.
His pants?
With my mask and gloves on, I first removed everything that can be removed
man.
safely from the interior. Take a quick look at this floor mat. Notice the lighter areas on the black carpet. This is caused from the sun coming in through the side window of Tony's garage and hitting only
Manfrotto.
that area
Bleaching.
for 20 years. Likewise, this is another reason that contributed to the, let's say, inconsistency in the paint finish and the techniques that we needed when polishing the paint. So sun fade is real. This is just a perfect example of why car
Yeah.
skin and our
like,
skin needs UV
Is that
protection.
actually a debated
Step
thing?
one is a preliminary vacuum.
Among some people, I think
Underneath
crazy
the
enough
seat
to
while I
just
was
be
vacuuming, I
contrarian and
found
argue
a
it.
matchbook
Sure.
from a strip club, which will only foreshadow what we're going to find in the glove.
Where fantasy becomes reality.
Oh yeah, that's
Home
that's
of the most beautiful women.
that's what I expect to find in a Countach.
That needs. I hope that goes with the sale.
I was looking because I was like, oh yeah, I never saw how the speakers were integrated, but that
Yeah.
makes sense.
A matchbook from a strip club, which will only foreshadow what we're going to find in the glove box.
That is so pitch perfect for this car, though.
Once all the heavy particulates were vacuumed up, I sprayed Digest enzyme cleaner to eliminate the organic matter and
Once
the
again, an
smells
enzyme,
associated with
yes,
fecal matter
cleaner.
and, of course, urine.
Because that's what you do with those wonderful.
Inside, I first cleaned the mold with
Gross
lather
things
in a
that
small brush.
smell.
I did the same thing on the Triumph TR6 barn find video a few weeks ago in the
I love
trunk.
a TR6.
Then I used steam to speed up the cleaning process and repeated
what
the
that
same
is?
steps on
Yep.
the rest of the interior.
Took me a
All
second.
right, check this out. Now see this? As I'm cleaning here, because
This is the highway where they all went. You see the poop? Watch when I hit this with the brush. Can you see that? See how it's turning brown? That's when you know it's covered in pee and poop. So this is where we need to be careful. Now at this point as well, this brush, as far as I'm concerned, is done. I have to go clean it. So it's one of the big things that people forget. When you're cleaning these things, you have to clean the tools that you're cleaning. So we're gonna put that out there. I'm gonna scoop this up, change towels. But you
Veins
are working with
deflated. Do let us
biologicals
know
right
if you
now. Look
if
at all
you
the
think we
poo.
just
It
need
literally
to
has
like
changed the color. Can you
out
see
of the
that?
video. We're not here
When
to
the job is
actually
laden
make
with
people
bacteria
No,
like
we
this
don't
one
wanna make
here,
people
healthy
sick.
cleaning of your cleaning tools is smart to avoid spreading germs to new locations that may not be as dirty as the previous
Now that's an
spot you
interesting
just
brush.
scrubbed.
Yeah.
On the leather
Looks like a
attached to the
steamer's
firewall,
tool.
look at the
Almost
perfect
does.
example of a mouse highway. You can really
A mouse
see how
highway.
they walk along the edge and step in their own fecal matter for years and years.
I mean,
You
it's
get to see
gross, but at
footprints
the same
and the
time,
cleaner turning
detailing, when you
brown
really get
after
down
it's
to it,
agitated.
does turn into this kind of thing
This
when you
is
get
the
these
silent
older
issue
cars.
that needs to be addressed first when you locate
Dig's
a barn
inflatable,
find.
don't
I'm
stop.
so thrilled to do this now.
Oh,
before
tone source.
curated
I
work
guess
on getting
Dane was
her
saying
up and
something
running.
about he
First
probably gets his
No,
own.
to my
Then
recollection, he
blend.
does not. He has
Afterwards, I
has
cleaned out the
towels
ashtrays.
that he sells that are very similar to like our car wash towels. But as far as I know, he's never gotten them from us. He has like a supplier just for those. But as far as the other stuff goes, I don't recall ever having him buy anything from us. We have good interaction though. Like it's been a positive thing. Like he comes to our booth when we're at SEMA, and we've hung out with him when we do the Detailers Domain event. When we've done that over on the East Coast, we call it our East Coast Adventure. You'll see him appear in our videos when we go over there and stuff. But yeah, no, it's always been good. So he's a cool guy. I would definitely
I like the Italian
shout
cigarette.
out. Yes,
Definitely
very.
an Italian cigarette.
and focused on the remaining leather bits
And the fun brushes
components
for a
with
steamer,
lather
yeah.
and a brush. However, when I opened the glove box, oh my gosh, here's
Cocaine.
what's inside: a shot glass, Cubist Jack's CD, you know, everyone's favorite band, carb cleaner, because who doesn't have carb cleaner in their glove box,
That
old
is
school
fair.
Marlboro cigarette box,
Now
and
that's
the creme de la
legit.
creme, Jordache jeans soaked in mouse urine.
Oh,
Definitely goes with the strip club.
Oh,
As I removed the primary nest and put it immediately into a plastic bag, I inspected the back of the glove box to find the entrance hole at the top right side, which explains the droppings and all the trails along the passenger side door, which to someone like me is pretty cool.
Sell those jeans on eBay.
That's when you know you got a problem. I'm excited by this. Oh,
add a little more steam where possible
to each
to
their
remove
own,
the
I
last.
sell those jeans on
trims.
eBay. Oh God.
Finally, I bagged up the horrifying Jordache jeans and steam vac the carpets and small remaining areas.
No, he didn't
of
just
the
let us
carpet.
see what the brand was.
Yeah, so some lady friend was in the car and said, "I'm just gonna store these in here."
There was a reason they didn't get back to those.
There's a reason that they never got him back. It was probably a one date situation.
Inside the cabin.
Maybe not even a whole day.
When I was done, more importantly, it's much safer for John and the boys to disassemble and to work on the car later. As we rounded third, Dan and I reinstalled the rear covers, cleaned the glass with Obey and a squeegee. You gotta love those side windows. And of course, the longest front windshield ever that costs $7,000 to replace if you can source one at all. So no pressure there. Afterwards, we
crack
added
it.
mud to the tire.
That's when you get Exo Shield.
Due to the
Yeah.
sun damage that we talked
And then
about,
you do,
on one
like,
side of the
2
car,
layers of
on
Exo
the
Shield.
outside of the car, the same thing happened. All the trim pieces were faded. and
One is
dried out.
enough, but
So I
two
needed a
was just
stronger
that peace of
formula
mind.
that I've been playing with for a while. That's applied with a little towelette called Frame
I
Pro.
don't actually know
It
if
will
2 layers of
restore
Exo Shield
faded
is bad.
plastic trim for 1 to
just
2
being
years
facetious.
based on how well it's prepped and, of course, how it's applied. Lighter
Prep is
and
important.
level strokes are key to this application process. But
That's
again,
why you
I'll
put
have
the
a full
jorts
how-to
in the
video
glove
on
box
Studio Channel.
before.
But just
Yeah,
take
yeah.
a look
Beforehand.
at the before and after, and it's permanent.
That was a different kind of prep.
Oh, and then that.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. It won't go back to it. Oh,
Days
So
deflated
the
pool.
Reflex
This is a
Pro
different
top coat,
trim story.
because the paint is
Yeah.
already
Yes.
sprayed in some areas, so applying a full coating doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
We're
at this
connecting
stage
all
of
the dots
process.
that Larry
I
has
just
laid
wanted
out
some
for us.
protection for its trip down to Miami. When all was said and done, the Countach looked absolutely amazing.
Countach.
Before and after was huge. Later on
I
that
am
night, I had my
Dracula,
buddy Mike from
Wallachia.
Machines with Souls photographed the
I'm
car
doing it.
inside the
That
studio
was
using some of his
horrible.
crazy light gels to get
That's
this wild
fun.
effect. It was pretty sick. To see
Oh,
how you can
that
light
looks-
your car,
that
read
would-
his latest article at
just
Machines
saying
with
that
Souls.
looks
Yeah.
pretty dang cool.
Yeah. Well, before and after, wonderful.
Italian
Hey.
Marlboro.
Hey.
Wait, what?
Hey.
It's a Mia Marlboro?
Hey.
Oh, look at that contrast.
Yeah.
that was nice.
That's a
Oh,
big
this is
old
actually.
contrast.
We'll be able to see if
The
he
next
took batteries
morning,
off.
the Lambo was picked
or
up.
not.
Come on,
Devon
show me
again.
before and
Once it was
after. What you
outside in
doing?
The cold and the ice, the reflections of the paint.
Oh, the front
really
looks
made me
good,
appreciate
though.
just
Yeah.
how beautiful this car is.
You can see where there
now.
used to be a
I can't even
license plate
imagine how
frame.
this spaceship
Oh, yeah.
must have looked back.
Which is
in
weird,
the
'cause I
80s.
don't think
And to have
Florida
this skinny
requires
dude
them.
like Tony hopping
Oh,
out
yeah,
with
this
those
is straight
Jordache jeans and
spaceship.
aviators on must have been
Oh,
quite
man.
the scene back then.
But it didn't have
Anyways,
a front plate
to
in
keep
those
up with
pictures.
the future restoration of this
Yeah, it was
Lambo,
probably
be sure to
some-
visit
Yeah.
wearecurated.com for this and dozens of other vintage supercar rebuilds. As
That's
always,
cool,
thanks
though.
for watching and be sure to subscribe and
Bucky,
Nice
click the
little
yeah.
plug for the
notification bell
towing.
to be notified
Yeah.
when my next forgotten car
Yeah,
is brought
Bucky,
back
those-
to life.
if you can
like
even
this
find the
old
mats.
Fiat left
Yeah,
in
right.
a dilapidated garage in New Jersey. That thing was a
Ooh.
hot mess. More on that
Oh,
soon.
speaking of snow,
And remember,
today's
the
Fiat
first
124.
detailing simulator
snow in
video
Alaska,
game
I
coming
found
out in a
out.
few weeks.
Yeah.
See the
Yeah.
description for more info. Thanks
Oh,
again.
hey, when
We'll
are
see
you?
guys
Go-
next time.
I
will
can't
still-
put
I
that
know.
on my Mac, unfortunately.
like-
Everybody asks though. They're like, "Come on, get that."
I
And
don't
I'm
know,
like,
get Jimmy,
I think it'd be
like,
fun.
Put it on Jimmy's computer and then just like go
Yeah.
over and like videotape
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just like get like best like it'd be really fun. Like each of you separately, no talking to each other, experiences like 20-30 minutes of gameplay
Right.
by yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like, oh yeah, this is good. Oh, that's not great.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it would be kind of fun though. I
Yeah.
would enjoy that. Yeah. So I'm kind of rounding us out here because I know we got to get you back home to sleep
I'm gonna
before
fall
we have
asleep
some
right
work to do
here.
tomorrow. So yeah. Well, it sounds like weirdly they booked out the hotel on one night this week, so you actually will be crashing here another night, which I will then drag you in here and we'll do another stream
sure.
if you're good with it.
I like how you're going to drag me
I'm
in
putting
here
him on the spot because
and
we're watching right
then
now.
saying, I'm going to force you to do this if you're okay with it.
See, I'm getting consent, but I'm also throwing it out there like it sure would be nice if.
This is like the high pressure salesman consent.
This is coercion. I'm sorry. So anyway, I got to get you back to your place, but that's okay. Hopefully, everybody watching had fun and enjoyed this with
my
a guest.
jorts are not in your glove box.
Oh God, I hope not. Oh, that would be so disgusting. Disgusting. All right. So on that note, thank you everybody who managed to watch this far. I think we've been doing good teamwork here. We did it. We did a teamwork.
He tolerated me.
I'm a giant nerd, so I appreciate like you nerding out over this stuff. And it feels, honestly, I really enjoy doing this when I have somebody like bounce ideas off of. Because when I'm doing this by myself, I won't lie, sometimes it does kind of feel like work. But I do enjoy it more than I feel like it's work. So I do it anyway. But I love having you guys come in here each day and just crack jokes, have fun. Like, it's hanging out with friends. I realize it's me sitting at a computer doing it, but it just adds this whole extra cool dimension when I actually have somebody here I can chat with and you guys can interact with that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't do enough of that in my daily life already.
Thanks, Alex. I do appreciate the little note there.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So, yeah, I mean, that's really it. Cool. So, anything to throw out at people before we go? Come on, plug your stuff, whatever you do.
I don't do.
You know, I'm throwing it out there like he's a guy who would have things to plug, even though he might not.
I barely have a Facebook. Barely.
And that's okay. It's mostly just there so I can tag you on this stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it exists. Otherwise, you have a Twitch because you're commenting on there.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
That counts. Anyway, thank you for being my guest and for tolerating the experience. And you would be open to coming back again as soon as like a few days from now.
I love that right at the end. Just,
yeah.
And for the low,
or you could just say no and disappoint everybody.
Yeah, just 36 payments of $3.99 a month at 60% APR. It's really not that bad of a deal. Really not that bad.
Man.
Yeah, man, I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, cool. We'll do that. So anyway,
Wednesday.
guys, we made it this far. God, it's been almost 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think we did our job. We had fun. We made it through 2 videos.
We made it through 2 videos.
Holy shit, only 2 videos.
I made it through 1 and a change movies in flying here today, and we made it through 2 YouTube videos.
I think that's just a testament to our ability to riff, though. So I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, you have a great night. Thank you
too.
to you too.
Thanks.
And you. So seriously, everybody, I really appreciate it. If you're subbed here, that's awesome. I don't ask that anybody feel like they have to sub. It's just it'll prompt me with these little like green buttons where it's like, okay, run the ad break, and I'm like, I want to warn you before I do that so you don't get taken off guard. But if you have Amazon and you have Amazon Prime, you can do that Prime sub thing. So it's basically just already built in. It gives you a freebie. So you just give it to whoever you want to watch stream. And for a lot of you, I know I'm the only streamer you probably watch because you only found out about Twitch because I said, come and watch this. So I appreciate you. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can do that. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, that's it. Have a great night. I'm going to kick it over to our thanks for watching screen. And then I'm going to mute both of these and some music will come on. So y'all have a great night. We'll catch you later.
See you later.
On my wristwatch, I know why they ain't know me, so I switch plots. Never running out of fuel, so fuck a pit stop. Hold up, weed in the whip, got rolled up, 32 G's in the ziplock. Hold up, now I'm talking shit. Saw me walk to the whip, every night get lit. Me and Uno for the hit.
Driven to deep left field and gone.
Bada boom, bada bing, bout cash, bout bling. Go ahead, make it ring, 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 ring. Told the thotty ring a ding, 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 ding. Whole squad need chains and rings. Loud smoke, some Asian things. Yeah, rip it open and I run in the Nemus. Copping on it even if I don't need it. Bands on me left the cashier speeches. Thank God, thank Keen. And real friends, you don't know the meaning. Get on the bag, go do the math. Split it up until it's even. I spaz on the beef for no reason. Tripping